What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 863rd edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, sexism, discrimination, hate speech, and small bleep energy. It's a little too soon to use that language as of yet. It is Wednesday, June 15th of 2022. It is good to have you guys in today. As always, we are streaming live simultaneously to Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, DLive, Rumble, and of course, in crystal clear high-resolution 4K to Sharpe stream, which can be downloaded for free on Android or iOS. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. Let's not waste any time today, guys. Let's get right into it. Pardon me. Sorry about that. There we go. As a black man living in the U.S., it took me a little while to come to grips with the reality that my race really changes a lot of different things when pursuing women. Now, there's nothing special or unique about me, but it would be disingenuous of me not to acknowledge that my skin tone does have advantages and disadvantages within the sexual marketplace. Now, growing up in a military family, race didn't really seem to play much of a role in of anything on base, at least not as far as I could see. From what I saw, the people and the families were judged strictly on credentials, and the ranks were posted near the doors of the family living quarters just below the family name. Now, because of this, I was just about as oblivious to the racial issues of the outside world as one could be. But all of that changed when I became a civilian at 16 years old due to my parents splitting up. Back when I first found this community and started talking to women on the regular, however, I had that same mentality. I never once asked myself, is race a factor with girls? I mean, sure, I knew that there were some differences, but not enough to make me think I had to make any radical changes, so I dove in headfirst and let the chips fall where they may. Now, even though I did have some success with women, it was very minimal, and I did experience a lot of rejection. However, as soon as I became aware of the racial components of game and pickup, I tweaked my approach accordingly. As a result, my conquests with women improved drastically. But a funny thing happened on my way to getting my black belt in women. I stopped approaching black women. Now, this wasn't a conscious choice. It wasn't a conscious choice. Nor was it something that I just woke up and decided to do. It's just a natural progression in my self-improvement renaissance. What I found was that the better I became at smashing pretty girls, the less attractive black women became. Gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, it's an open secret that black women are at the bottom of the sexual totem pole in terms of sexual market value. This is hard for them to acknowledge and accept, but that's how it is. The hard truth, guys, is that black women are almost nobody's type. Yes, there are exceptions to the rule, but as we all know, the exception never makes the rule. Anyway, the better I got at sleeping with better-looking girls, the less attention I paid to sisters. And eventually, black women became as sexually invisible to me as the average man is to the average woman. Something else I figured out rather quickly was that black women positively hated the fact that I was dating white girls and Latinas. Now, they didn't tell me this personally, but believe me when I tell you their body language and looks of fury they shot in my direction, that was evidence enough. Outside of showing proof that my relationship techniques yield good results, I've never really been one to care about what people thought about who I was dating or smashing at the time, least of all sisters. But after regularly getting dirty looks from black girls when I strolled by with yet another pretty white girl, the light bulb in my head finally went off and something dawned on me. What dawned on me was that black women are upset because they don't have the same options available to them as we do. In other words, they're mad that as a collective, we as black men can date out far more successfully than they can. And bless their hearts, they try their damnedest to convince us it's the other way around. But just because Prince Harry made the egregious mistake of marrying Meghan Markle doesn't mean that white men are lining up around the block to wife up sisters. Now, on the other hand, it appears that a lot of black men seem to think the same thing. That is, most of us believe that we can't date outside of our race as much as we're actually able to do. But black men as a collective, what we need to do we need to understand that as black men, we have more options than the average rank and file black woman. Yes, a lot of black men understand this, but it appears that most of us do not. Most of us are grossly unaware of the fact that there are greener pastures out there for us in terms of our options for short to long-term relationships. But I'd like to quickly rewind back to when black men and black women were racially loyal to each other and to sort of find out when and why this divide took place. At the height of the civil rights movement in the mid-1960s, black women were absolute ride or die for black men. They stood by their black husbands who were shot, beaten, stabbed, and endured just about every inhumane, prejudiced treatment imaginable. Black men were appreciative of their women for sticking by them through tough times and rewarded them with their undying loyalty. But second-wave feminism was also in full swing in winning the hearts and minds of both black men and women countrywide. Unfortunately, black women fell prey to this influence, which started the precipitous decline of the American black woman. Fast forward nearly 6 decades, and it appears that a lot of black women are insufferable at best and absolutely radioactive to black men at worst. As a result, brothers have started checking out in droves, and an increasing number of black men who are giving up on pursuing black women grows by the day. Now, it wasn't always like this. By the time second-wave feminism really hit its stride and began to influence sisters, black men were still under the impression that their women would still ride for them through thick and thin. But by the time the 80s ended and the 1990s began, we started waking up to the harsh reality that a lot of sisters were starting to become a lot more trouble than they were worth. The juice, as they say, wasn't worth the squeeze. Now, in 2022, with the help of social media and the internet at large, black men are far more aware of the true nature, licentiousness, and overall toxicity that so many black women embody. And as a result, a good number of us started dating other races of women and have completely abandoned pursuing black women altogether. Now, this new dating strategy has spawned a lot of men like myself, who routinely discuss the advantages and disadvantages of dating non-black women, as well as our negative experiences with dating black women. Naturally, this has caused a fair amount of pushback from black women and the black community at large. However, their characterization of our talking points would have you believe that all we do is bash black women, and nothing could be further from the truth. Yes, there are some SYSBM content creators out there who do nothing but bash sisters, but their First Amendment right to freedom of speech allows them to do so. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I've never been critical of black women, because I most certainly have. Am I sorry about it? No. Why should I be? Black women are critical of black men all the time, but I don't complain about it because I don't date them. It would be foolish of me to care about the opinions of a group of women I'm no longer romantically interested in, because quite frankly, it's a waste of time. But anytime I'm critical of black women, I'm always met with labels of misogynoir and you hate black women and so forth. The late great Kevin Samuels was also called a woman hater, but that clearly wasn't true. He was simply pointing out the issues that black women have, and predictably, sisters didn't like it and started throwing around allegations. Gentlemen, this is one of the fundamental differences between the average man and the average woman here in the 21st century. Most men can take constructive criticism. Most of us are capable of hearing something about ourselves that is particularly difficult to hear, but not take it personally most of the time. I will use myself as an example. Back when I weighed over 300 pounds, a buddy of mine said to me, "Hey man, you're a fat ass. You can complain about your life all you want to, but most of your problems are a direct result of you being overweight." Now, I didn't take that personally at all because I knew he was right. And as you guys can see, I was a fat ass. I was also lazy, undisciplined, and was not interested in watching what I ate. When I found this community, it was the same thing. I was told that I was weak-willed, supplicated to women, and did not hold them accountable for treating me poorly. This was very hard to hear, but again, this information hit the bullseye and I had no issue with it. Kevin Samuels merely pointed out what today's black women need to be told. Up to that point, it was obvious that they had never been told by a man of Kevin's stature anyway, that in order to qualify for men like him, they needed to make a few changes. For the better part of the last quarter century, black women have been told that they deserve high-value men regardless of their fitness level. They've been told that even though they have multiple children by multiple men, that they still qualify for the high-value men they want. Kevin straight up told these women, no, you don't qualify. That's not attacking black women, gentlemen. That is simply telling them the truth about themselves. And unlike most men, most women take offense to the truth. If it hurts their feelings, they feel attacked. And one of the main reasons Kevin was the biggest star on YouTube before he passed, God rest his soul, is because he's the avatar. He's the guy women are chasing, but he told them they don't qualify and they didn't like it. They liked him even less when he told them what they had to do in order to qualify. You see, sisters don't like being told what they need to improve their fitness level. They also don't like being told that their children severely damage their dating prospects. They don't like being told what they need to hear. This is exactly why black women characterized Kevin's message as an attack on black women. But the bottom line is that the average white girl is far more feminine and cooperative than the average black woman, and that's all there is to it. This is exactly why so many top 5% black men are married to or are in relationships with non-black women. It's femininity, it's deference, it's respect. True femininity combined with being unafraid to show us and tell us that they're interested is so powerful that a man's reaction to something they aren't used to getting from black women looks like they're pedestalizing women of other races. According to black women, talking about the advantages of dating outside of our race is glorifying the white woman. But that doesn't bother me at all because number one, it's not true, and number two, I don't care what black people think of my dating choices. Black men like myself who date out don't give a damn about what people say about our choices in women. As far as I'm concerned, they can call us whatever they want because in the end, it doesn't matter what they think. I don't take offense to black men or black women who throw shade on me for having a white girlfriend, because despite their hate, I know my relationship is a hell of a lot more peaceful than their relationships. My girl is fit, feminine, and friendly. She helps me make money and genuinely enjoys making me happy. So scathing comments about our relationship just bounce off me. But it needs to be stated that we don't have to denigrate black women. They do a good enough job of that all by themselves. So there's no need for me to throw gasoline on the fire and bash them all day long because they do a good enough job. However, there is an obvious hypocrisy that comes from their rhetoric. You see, while black women routinely criticize black men for dating non-black women, they don't necessarily keep that same energy for the small percentage of black women who do the same. Take a look and listen.
I think the solution here is for black men, date, marry, love black women, which I know is super hypocritical because I've dated white men. I have.
Men like myself are constantly criticized for dating non-black women because we come from the womb of a black woman. But if you were to ask a black woman who dates non-black men if she felt guilty because her father is black, she would tell you, of course not. Yes, my father is black, but that doesn't mean I'm obliged to date black men. I can date whoever I want. I don't belong to them or anyone else. And guess what? Those women would be 392% correct. Black women don't owe us a damn thing. However, the pendulum swings both ways. Black men don't owe black women anything either, least of all making them our first choice for relationships. Black women seem to be the only group of people that feels entitled to black men simply because they give birth to black men. But ladies, I've got news for you. We do not belong to our mothers. We are not their property. And your kids don't belong to you either. You don't own your sons, ladies. Your son does not have to date a black woman simply because you are his birth mother. He is his own person and he has the right and free will to make his own choices. Which brings me to Cynthia G. And let me go ahead and start off by saying I don't have a problem with Cynthia G personally. She has strong opinions about black men and she does have a right to voice them. I'm not mad at her. I don't despise her. I hold no ill will toward her. I wish her a long and happy life doing whatever it is she wants to do. And I'm not being facetious. This is from the heart. And if sharing strong opinions about her negative experiences with black men, if that's what she wants to do, who am I to complain about it? She's not my problem. However, just like Cynthia G has the right to express her views, pardon me, I have the right to disagree with her views and discuss it at length. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do right after the break. We're back in 17 seconds, guys. Stay right there. Introducing our brand new buy now, pay later option on TSR Academy. That's right, guys. You can now split up payments on all of my courses. My 25-hour game course, my 7-hour quality woman course, and even my 600-plus female translation course, Womanese. Go to tsracademy.com for details. Welcome back to TSR Live, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. I would appreciate that very, very much. Shout out to Sean in Tampa for the track there. Be sure to join me tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, as I continue to break down the ultimatum. Things are definitely getting real. There are so many crimson caps and truths. It's ridiculous. If you want to watch live for free, all you got to do is download the app from the App Store or the Google Play Store. It is available for Android or iOS. All right, very good. It is good to have you guys in here today. I'm very, very excited for today's show. We are going to open up the phone lines a little bit later on. Shout out to my snipers on the Sharpe stream side. Dre Raven, Jay Blaze, Hellfong, Lara Signal 94, Ninja Watcher for Life, and of course the lovely and talented Devin, all checking in. Shout out to my sharpshooters on the YouTube side. Mo Mrizzle is in the house. Looks like Jay Blaze 11 is double dipping. Dr. B 84. Oop. My apologies there. Dr. B 84 is also in the building. Johnny Green, Ninja Watcher for Life, says hello everyone, excited to be here. Yeah, good to see you in here, man. Let's see who else is in here. Kyle 2020 on the YouTube side says, I got into an argument on Instagram with a black woman who claims she's dated short men and broke men and that she kicked a guy's ass who tried to kill her and she threw him across the room.
Stop the cap.
I didn't hear that, but that was supposed to be the stop the cap button. It's supposed to be the stop the cap button. It's funny how you can be whatever you want to be on social media. It's actually quite funny. Slambright says, I enjoy small eggplant energy. That might be, I might change that to that. Sith Lord Entertainment with the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. She's only saying this because she can't do it herself, or maybe the quote black hammer was too much for her. Okay, very good. Very, very good. Yeah, you're probably right. King Life on the YouTube side says, I remember when there was an overweight black chick I had to begrudgingly work next to, and she thought about eating an apple. She thought eating an apple would make me proud of her only after she ate a bunch of fast food. SMH. Yeah, right. Exactly. Rebel 5150 is in the house. It is good to have you guys all in the house. I appreciate you guys very, very much for tuning and chiming in. Listen, man, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So, Fox Soul's Tammy Mack moderated a panel discussion entitled, Do Black Men Hold Black and Non-Black Women to Different Standards? And on that panel was, of course, Cynthia G. Tammy was also joined by 3 other black men and also a black Optimus Prime, if you guys can read between the lines. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm not going to put this on the big screen. I'm trying to steer clear of copyright. I know this is all fair use, but we all know what Cynthia G looks like. It doesn't make any sense to have her on the big screen. I think this will help me to avoid much of the risk. And of course, I've put all the copyright disclaimers. So let's go ahead. There we go. Let's go ahead and get this party started.
Traditionally asked on business of being black is why. Why should black people care? Why should black people care about setting higher standards when dating within their race? Cynthia, you're ready to go? Let's get it.
I am ready to go. Well, first of all, let me say this. When it comes to interracial dating and black men being with non-black and specifically white women, as we know that is the preference of black men, there are no...
Oh boy. Already a fallacy. She says that white women are the preference of black men. No. Fit, feminine, and friendly women are the preference of all men. But when most black women in this country are not fit, feminine, and friendly, they become not the preference. It's simple math. And again, just like I said, guys, I don't have anything against Cynthia G. She has every right to voice her opinions as everyone else does. Yes, fair use. She has a right to voice her opinion, and we have a right to disagree and critique it.
Wow. There are no standards beyond bringing whiteness to the table. This has been documented.
There are no standards other than bringing whiteness to the table. No. Again, she's talking about this like it's a fact. Listen to what she says.
By studies, bringing whiteness to the table. This has been documented by studies.
Yeah, what studies, Cynthia? What studies? See, anytime somebody says studies show, that could come from anywhere. And I didn't watch this whole thing, but never once, as far as I know, did she cite the studies that she's talking about. What studies are there? What studies are out there that suggest that black women, when pursuing non-black women, our only requirement is to bring whiteness to the table? Where is that? These imaginary statistics. These imaginary statistics. This is what black women do when they're trying to win an argument. This is what people do when they're trying to win an argument. They simply lie. Well, studies show that I'm better than you. Well, what studies are those? But then if we turned around and said, okay, well, studies show that you're better, that I'm better than you. Well, wait a minute. Those studies could come from anywhere. It's funny that people who try to use studies and statistics and data against whoever they're debating or talking against, they only take their own statistics seriously. But when you try to bring statistics, oh, that doesn't mean anything.
The bottom line of it is it affects the community. It affects the wealth building in the community. It affects generational wealth. It affects the poverty levels. It affects even the self-esteem of black women and little black girls. And
if there are any young black women watching this, self-esteem comes from self, not the outside. What Cynthia G is mischaracterizing here is the ego of the black woman. If black women really did have self-esteem, they wouldn't worry about the fact that more and more black men are checking out of dating them. Self-esteem comes from oneself. Really, self-esteem for little girls comes from their fathers. That's really what this comes down to. And of course, we know that 77% of black people born in this country are born out of wedlock. So already, she's made multiple fallacies.
And I'm actually really happy that we're talking about this, because this is something that relatively gets ignored. The fact that black men have no standards when it comes to non-black women, specifically white ones, which mostly there are different ethnicities of white, but then they have a long laundry list of standards for black women.
Nope, not really. Not really, Cynthia. My standards are the same for all race of women. Fit, feminine, friendly. That's it. I mean, why am I going to require more from a black woman than I would a white girl? That's stupid. That's ridiculous. Why am I going to stop dating black women to date low quality white girls? That makes absolutely no sense. Black Sand with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Says, about time somebody cooked this 304. Seems like the manosphere has been scared of her. I'm not afraid of Cynthia G, man. I mean, she's a divester. Okay, fine. Like I said, she has every right to talk about whatever she wants to talk about, albeit inaccurately. Listen, she does have a right, but then we have a right to respond.
And what that is an indication of is an internalized self-hatred.
Oh, here we go.
And really, quite frankly, a white
self-hatred. So the reason why guys like me don't date women like her is because I hate myself. No, incorrect. No, you see, if I really hated myself, I would date women like Miss Cynthia G. People who hate themselves, people who have that kind of low self-esteem, they don't believe that they deserve better. And so what they do is they self-sabotage. Women in particular, I'll use that as an example. Women self-sabotage. A lot of women out there have a low self-esteem. They don't really believe that they deserve good men. So what do? They go after trash men. Doesn't matter what race they are. Men who Isuba spelled backwards them, men who are disrespectful, men who call them names, cheat on them, all this extra stuff. This is what people do when somebody truly self-hates, okay? They self-harm, okay? And so by dating non-black women, no, that is a form of self-love. I love myself. And as such, I will do what's best for me. And what's best for me are staying away from women like her. Now, if I really did have self-hate, if I did not believe that I deserved the best of whatever I was pursuing, then yes, I might date women like Cynthia G. So this whole self-hate argument is really tired. If a black man really, really hates himself, he would only date the average rank and file black woman.
White supremacist mentality.
Wow.
Oh boy. So now, because we date outside of our race, we have a white supremacist mentality. See, at this point, really, she's just, I think she's just going for the shock value. I can't imagine. And listen, hey, listen, man, she's got, as far as I know, she got like 250,000 subscribers or some crazy number like that. I've never been to her channel, right? But this is what gets her clicks. This is what gets her clicks and views, you know? And listen, man, I've admitted, hey, sometimes even I can be a little bit more theatrical with some of my talking points just to get the message across. Prime VA 757, $5 super chat, appreciate that. Says, yet her sister has a non-black baby daddy. Okay. I mean, look, if Cynthia G's sister dates white or dates non-black men, I don't care about that. Doesn't matter. Baker19 says, just saying buzzwords. Yeah, that's really all this is. The fact that I choose to date outside of my race because black women don't meet my standards, that's not white supremacist. That's not white supremacy. That's Donovan supremacy. I am supreme, and so I deserve better.
She's totally wrong.
Sweetie, let's get this question in.
Right.
Let's get this first round question in first so everybody can answer. So
one thing I will say about Tammy Mack is Tammy Mack was a good moderator. You know what's, listen, she's a black woman. You know what side of the fence she's on. At least I think so. But she, as far as I could tell from watching this the first couple of times, she's a fair moderator. She gave everybody a chance to talk and speak their piece.
Speedy, why should black people care about setting higher standards when dating within our race?
I don't think you need to have a higher standard. It's just who do you love? That should be the only standard you have.
There you go.
I like this person or I like that person. She could be big, she could be short,
Whoa there, brother. Whoa. I like this dude, by the way. He's actually quite funny. No. We don't like big women. We don't like plus size women. Like it. I mean, listen, I can only speak for myself. I don't know. I'm sure there are some guys out there who are chubby chasers, but even chubby chasers don't prefer chubby.
You can be skinny. I like big women. So am I wrong for just liking big women? It doesn't matter who you like.
Okay.
I'm married to a white woman, but I don't have black.
Did he just, wait a minute, hold up.
Liking big women, it doesn't matter who you like. I'm married to a white woman, but
Shout out to him for marrying a white girl.
I have black kids. My daughter's black, all my kids, and I teach them to.
Okay, now what this guy is doing, and again, I understand why he's doing this, right? But black women, I'm doing black women a favor. Because when it comes down to it, I don't owe anybody an explanation. I choose who I date for my reasons. I don't have to run that by you. I don't have to explain myself to you. Why do you date white girls? Because that's what I decided. Listen, brothers, especially black men, and Kevin Samuels, bless his soul, he used to say this a lot. Black men, we are indirectly asked so many times in so many different ways to justify our decisions. We have to justify our decisions in dating, what jobs we take, why we go to school, et cetera, et cetera. Black men we're always asking, hey, explain yourself. No. To hell with that. I don't have to explain, dude, I don't have to explain anything to anybody. Sisters, I'm doing sisters a favor. I honestly didn't even have to tell you guys about my girl. I didn't even have to do that. I don't know y'all an explanation. And neither does this guy. This guy said, hey, I'm married to a white woman, but my kids are black. I teach them black things. Bruh, you ain't even got to do all that extra stuff, man. I married a white woman because that's who I love. I go where I'm appreciated, not tolerated. End of discussion. He didn't even have to mention his black daughters. This is a lot of black men still feel the need to, well, I still have blackness and da-da-da-da. Look, bruh, you're black. That's enough. Nobody can take your black card away from you because you're dating outside your race.
Be black. And not to be black, but they are. They understand who they are. They don't look at who I married and go, something wrong with my dad because he married a white woman. No. You guys are looking to totally, I get it. You could say some men, but when someone goes, all men, all.
Pro Man, appreciate the $10 super chat. Says, so according to her, black men in the 90s ran from Halle Berry to get with Roseanne. Apparently, Bink the Bodhisai says, damn, I'm late. Don't sweat it. We're only a few minutes in. It's all good.
Black men have a standard. No, we do not. We just have somebody. I just have somebody that love me.
Right.
And I love them.
There you go.
So just for clarification, your children are by
Black.
the white woman?
No.
They're by a black woman?
Yes.
I love how Tammy Mag's like, okay, just for clarification, you had the kids by the white girl. He was like, no. No. I had kids by black women.
Okay,
Yeah,
just wanted to make that clarification. Nina, why should black people care about setting higher standards when dating within our race?
Well, to me, I'm just
Okay. Please keep your comments respectable, guys. I don't know why. I don't know why Tammy Mack decided to add an Optimus Prime to the conversation. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
like what Speedy is saying. It's not a difference to me per se with in our community due to the fact that it's whatever makes us happy. I don't know where this has come from to make it so serious to the point where it's a black and white thing. It's not. It's whoever makes you happy and brings you peace. If the characteristic of that individual, whether it's black or non-black, is not to your liking, I guess, then it's your prerogative if you choose another race.
How about that? How about that? How about that? So Big Shirley is dropping bars here.
Or someone else. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not that deep. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that deep. She's right. It's not that big a deal. Apparently it's a big deal because, you know, black women talk about this stuff all the time, but...
So KT, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Why should black people care about setting higher standards when dating within our race? I have to say, I do hear a lot of black women, a lot of black men, when they talk about black women, they say, well, we want somebody that cook. We want somebody that can be submissive. We want somebody that's less aggressive with not a lot of mouth. But they never say that when they talk about dating white women. So,
nope. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Due respect to Tammy Mack. Due respect to Tammy Mack. I don't know where she's hearing this from. I don't know what kind of... I'm going to assume she's either being dishonest or she's selective hearing. I've never heard a man say, well, I want black women to be fit, feminine and friendly, but I'm not going to require that of non-black women. Who the hell would say that? Any man worth his salt is going to have standards, regardless of the race of woman he decides to pursue. So for her to say, I never hear that about non-black women, that's inaccurate. That's just inaccurate. I don't know where she's getting that from. Again, shout out to Tammy Mack. She does a good job moderating this, but I don't know where she got what she just said.
that seems to be the standard, KT. Why should we care about black men who place higher standards?
Well, I certainly set standards for every woman I date.
Thank you. Fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like the problem starts with black men.
Oh boy, here we go.
I feel like
I can already tell you this, just having watched this guy. This guy, unfortunately, he has been conditioned by the community not to speak his mind. This dude is so scared. This dude is so scared to say that black women are the problem and that's why I don't date them, that he's actually blaming himself for black women not having options in black men. He says it starts with black men. I don't know where he got that. I really don't.
You know, from my experience, I typically
see how hesitant he is.
I typically notice like patterns in black women, and I'm naturally just like, those standards it doesn't.
Translation: black women are not attractive to me because they're not fit, feminine, and friendly. That's all you got to say, fam. You don't have to. This guy's using a bunch of words out. And again, listen. Shout out to him. I guess he's trying to stop from stepping in it. But fam, you're a man. If somebody asked you a question, answer the question. Instead of all of this, well, I noticed, but no, fam. No, black women, the average rank and file black woman as a collective, not fit, not feminine, not friendly. That's why I date non-black women. No, he's going all around in circles. I notice patterns and, bruh, just say it. Say it.
Change, you know? So it's just like white women typically don't have the same, qualities.
Jesus Christ. Look, dude in the top right-hand corner knows that dude is afraid.
Okay, we'll get into that later. We'll get into that later. Byron, the question on deck is, why should black people care about setting higher standards when dating within the race?
I think that they should not care. I don't think there should be a quote unquote higher standard within your race. However, I understand why people have higher standards, why black people have higher standards, and that is taught. It is about for the culture. I remember when I was coming out, my seminarian theologian professor told me, Byron, I don't care if you like men or if you like women, but I want you to marry a woman because you got to protect the culture. You got to raise strong black children. And so I think there's an extra bit of pressure that's on a black person who marries another black person to make sure the culture is represented well.
You know, it's interesting. His body language and his mannerisms, I could be wrong, but his body language and his mannerisms lead me to believe that there is an air of sarcasm in his delivery. Is anybody else getting that? I'm not trying to say he's being disingenuous or coming at this from a position of bad faith, but that whole explanation to me, it sounded like he was really just kind of mocking the whole thing. I could be wrong. We'll see.
That same pressure is not on it when you go outside of the race. So there's that.
So let's move into this and get into this story. Speedy, you've already told us that you married a white woman. Do black men get criticized for dating outside of their race more than other men?
Of course.
You think?
We will get criticized, but again, if she would have been Puerto Rican, if she'd have been Latino, if she'd have been from India, doesn't matter. How about who likes you? I don't like nobody to raise their voice to me.
Right.
Black, white, green, or purple doesn't matter. I think when y'all go, oh well, all black men, quit saying all black men. Just say the people you met. Let's do it that way.
Now, I understand where he's coming from. Don't say all black men. Listen, we get this all the time in this community, right? Not all women are like that. Blah 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 blah. But generalizations are, or how can I put this? Generalizations are necessary sometimes, right? I remember I was in a discussion with a girl I worked with years and years ago. I was like, yeah, I've been to Boston and people in Boston are rude. And she's like, well, you can't say that about people in Boston. They're not all rude. And I'm like, clearly they're not all rude. But by and large, most people would agree that people from Boston, they're a-holes. Well, you can't say that about all of them. No. How are we supposed to discuss people as a collective if we can't make statements that generalize? Because if we had to qualify every single thing we say, we'd never have conversations. What was it like in this state? Oh, it's a great place to live. Okay, there are bad places to live in that state. That doesn't mean it's not a great state to live in. So I understand where he's coming from. Don't say all black men, only use what your experiences are. But by the same token, look, just own it. If somebody says all black men are trash and this and that and a third, cool. If that's not you, this is the thing. If you're not who Cynthia G describes as someone who is trash, why should you trip? Like, why? I mean, look, dude, I'm not tripping. Like, there are people who people talk trash about me all the time. I don't care. Especially if none of it's true. So when Cynthia G goes on and she's like, oh, black men are trash and this and that and the third, I'm not getting up in arms because I know I'm not trash.
This conversation should start off with this. The people I met said this. Stop saying all black men. All black men don't feel that way. Yes, I don't want another woman. I don't care if she's purple or green. Don't raise your voice at me. Don't do none of that. Don't front me off in front of my friends. Doesn't matter what color you are.
That's right.
I think the problem is we keep throwing these broad strokes of all black men. All black men. Stop saying that.
Again, I understand what he's saying, but we've said all black. We have to talk about people as a collective. That's the way the conversation gets started. Now, you can point out exceptions to the rule and then acknowledge that the exception doesn't make the rule, but just let them know, hey, by and large, the average black woman is much heavier than the average white woman, or the average white woman is far more feminine than the average black woman. There you go. That's how you say it. Proman1 with the $10 super chat, appreciate that, says, so according to her, black men in the 90s ran from Halle Berry to Get with Roseanne. I think I've read that already. Shout out to 860 Saiyan God with another $5 super chat, appreciate that. Says what she is really trying to say is why black men should only date black women without us black women taken accountable of our shortcomings. Yes, that's exactly what she's saying.
Just say, few men I met, this is how they feel.
Did somebody just burp? Did you guys hear that?
All black men, stop saying that. Just say, few men I met, this.
Who the hell was that? Who was the one that burped? Was that the dude? Was that the boy?
All black men, stop saying that. Just say, few men I met, this is how they feel.
Okay.
Then the conversation flows better. If I sit here and go, all black women are this, or all white women are that, or all white women only do this, or all white women got good credit. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Which I know. No, they don't.
Mark Whitmore on the Sharpe stream side says, the bald guy reminds me of Elin Harris, a, quote, Roberto Alomar romance writer who died of complications from the hives. He's not the best example for speaking on mixed dating panel. That's what's odd about... See, I didn't realize that the dude in the top left played for the other team. I had no idea that he was an Eddie Murray.
Listen,
for the purpose of the remainder of the show, we will assume that when someone refers to any group of people, we are referencing the few of those group of people that we've met. Okay.
Honestly, I do like Tammy Mack. I like the way she moderates. I like how she sees the problem. She immediately solves it. Love it.
I thought the discussion applied towards black men who date interracial.
But you know all black men that date them.
I don't, but there's there's data on it.
What data? See, again, what data? See, what people like Cynthia G like to do, they like to speak in absolutes as far as studies are concerned. She says the data says X, Y, and Z, but she doesn't cite the data.
Don't do that. Don't say no study.
And what I find is, please let me finish. What I find is that black men who date interracially, they tend to shun data and focus on individual experiences that can't be confirmed or denied.
Let's listen to that again. I want you guys to listen to this very closely.
Is that black men who date interracially, they tend to shun data and focus on individual experiences.
Individual experiences, Ms. G, that is what we call empirical data. If you want empirical data on interracial dating, the best place to go to is Reddit. People are shockingly honest on Reddit because you can be anonymous. I tell people all the time, if you want to know what it's really like out here in these streets, the two best professions to get into are either a taxi cab driver or an Uber driver. And if you don't want to drive, go to Reddit. People are very, very honest on Reddit because everything is done under the shroud of anonymity.
That can't be confirmed or denied.
Now, she said personal experiences that can't be confirmed or denied. Okay, fair enough. So what data are we citing, Ms. G?
Bottom line, the data is saying what's going on. It is trackable. And the data's in the studies, particularly this one that I'm actually looking at right now.
Well, then tell us what it is, Cynthia.
From the American Sociological Association, based on sociology and race.
Wow, that was a mouthful. The American Sociology of Sociology based on race and sociology.
Basically saying that black men do have a lower standard.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Race. It's basically saying that black men do.
It's basically saying
have a lower standard.
It's basically saying that black men do have a lower standard. It's either saying it, Cynthia, or it's not. You can't say, well, this basically, hey, did you sleep around in college? Not really. Oh, so you were virginal? Basically. No, you can't do that.
Non-existent standard when it comes to dating white women versus black women. There's also been...
Give me a break.
But here's the thing. I want to let everybody understand why Black men have no standards when it comes to non-Black women, because what Speedy mentioned was different ethnicities of white. Puerto Rican is not a race. You can have Black, white,
No, Puerto Rican is not a race, Cynthia, but Puerto Rican is a nationality.
mixed, Asian, whoever in that. It's not a race. The bottom line is Black men look for different ethnicities of white. Whether he's with a white woman, she's white. Whether he's with a Hispanic, she's white.
Yep, there
Whether
it is.
he's with an Asian, her skin will be white. They're not gravitating towards anyone that looks like them.
Okay, so Cynthia G, again, is sort of outing herself as there are a lot of Black women, and I don't know how pervasive this is, but there are a lot of Black women who, if you are not Black, if a woman is not Black, she's white. Kim Kardashian, she's a white girl. No, she's not. She's Armenian. If she's not Black, she's white. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. An Asian girl has white skin. No, she doesn't. She has yellow skin. Hispanic girls are white. No, they don't. They have brown skin. And no, we're not rejecting people that look like us. Because the people that we're rejecting are much larger than we are. You see, the average Black woman looks nothing like the average Black man. So I'm not really sure where she's getting this self-hatred argument from. Technomage B5 with the $10 super chat. Appreciate that very much. This is my first day in sociology class. For every study that shows one thing, you can find / make another study showing exactly the opposite. Yeah, and we all know this. We all know this. We all know this. Statistics can be manipulated and made to say anything you want. There was some ridiculous statistic that Guste Janis was talking about, said 600,000 women were e-part in 1 year. What? Where are you getting your data from? Well, it's the data, blah, 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 blah. Myron Gaines and Rollo, they completely debunked all of that. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was so skewed, it was ridiculous.
It's all data backed. There are data sources that towards anyone that looks like them. This is all data backed. See,
this is all data backed. Everything she is saying, she claims as backed by data. Just because, you have to understand this, guys. Just because Cynthia says that it's data backed doesn't mean that it's data backed. You see, people like Cynthia assume that when they say something, when they speak it, it's automatically true. Well, studies show that Black women are not overweight. Okay, where's the data? No, these are imaginary statistics. She says, I'm looking at one now. I'm calling cap. I don't think she's looking at it. I don't think she's looking at anything, to be honest with you.
There are data sources that explicitly stated.
Which one, Ms. G? What data sources? And again, look, if you're going to bring in data and studies and statistics, you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared to show them. Saying I'm looking at data right now, that doesn't prove to me that you're actually looking at the data. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
That when Black men date white women, they are dating because she is white, and she is weaponizing her whiteness as social currency to get so-called high-value Black men.
Okay, all women. So what you talked about is that white women weaponize their whiteness to get so-called high-value Black men. So, a couple of things here. Clearly, Cynthia she does not hold Black men in too high regard. That's fine. She hates Black men. Okay, whatever. Fine. She's well within her rights to express her hatred for Black men. But she doesn't respect them either. She said so-called high-value Black men. Number two, going back to the first point, all women as a collective don't weaponize their whiteness. No, women accentuate their femininity to get with high-value men. Women, deep down in their brains, women know what men want. Men want women who are fit, feminine, and friendly. If a white girl wants to go after Black guys, guess what she's going to do? She's going to get fit, she'll act feminine, and she's going to be friendly. That's not weaponizing. That's survival. Black women women have to be their best in order to secure a relationship with a high-value man. And what Cynthia just called it was weaponizing. But if a Black woman did it, that would be called survival. No, just because a white girl is fit feminine and friendly, that doesn't mean she's weaponizing anything. No, she is trying to be the best person she can be so that she can attract the highest value man available to her. That's it. It's not weaponizing. That's survival.
But I just want to say this really quickly, and I'm going to yield. The reason Black men have no standards is because this is what they've always been fighting for. Contrary to popular belief, it wasn't Loving versus Virginia that was the first case taken to the Supreme Court. It was Black men initiating it on at least 3 different instances. Now, those cases, Pace v. Alabama, McLaughlin v. Florida, and Perez v. Sharpe, were Black men petitioning the Supreme Court. One of the cases, 16 years off the plantation, not going to the Supreme Court to liberate their people, but going to the Supreme Court so that they can marry.
I have no idea what all this means.
White women. Now,
let's take a break on that note. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll get everybody else in to.
Wow. Okay, so she knows a few court cases. I'm not impressed.
Respond to the higher standards that Black men place on Black women.
Don't.
Great.
You do.
Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. Let's get down to the business of being Black today. It's the Black man standard.
I actually like Tammy Mack. I like let's get right into it.
For Black women, please welcome the love guru Byron Jamal, comedian Speedy Caldwell, the CEO of Blink X, Nina Blanco, influencer and YouTuber Cynthia G, and KT from Top Level Dating. KT, when you are dealing with top level dating,
I'm sorry. This dude is a dating expert?
do you deal with interracial relationships?
Yes, for sure.
And how do those
most of the
interracial
men I dated.
relationships differ from relationships that are of the same?
Call me crazy, but this dude looks scared to be on the panel. It looks scared to be on the panel. Andre Davis, $2 super chat. Appreciate that. Says, crazy she hates black men, but got pregnant by one. Yeah, I remember that scandal. Saint Nix, 69 with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Says, I guess the black man she had a baby by had no standards either. I guess not. I think his name was Robert somebody or something like that.
Same ethnicity. Do men come in and ask for a white woman or a Hispanic woman? How does that work?
Well, most of the time, they're just looking for a successful dating life, so they want their options open. A lot of guys actually struggle with not having women interested in them to begin with. So once I set them up with, a good online profile or, anything like that, they get a decent amount of options, and then they basically just go after who they're attracted to.
Okay.
And to be honest, there's not that many. For example, like my black clients, there's not many.
I have a hard time believing that this guy is a dating guru or sets people up. He's not direct enough. He's not direct enough. I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but maybe if I were to shake the guy's hand and look him in the eye, maybe I could tell more. But he seems very timid. He seems very naive, and he seems afraid. This just doesn't, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he has a different personality off camera, but this guy does not come across as someone who is really fearless. I don't get it.
The black guy, I'm sorry.
Shout out to Allie in the house. Says, Tammy Mack is so catchy. I love it.
Clients who prefer black women, they notice that when they're dating online, there's not that many black women to choose from. So they naturally just happen to start messaging women who are of other races.
Oh, God, this guy.
They start meeting up on dates and everything like that.
Dude, come on, dude. Come on, bruh. This guy's capping. There are plenty of black women on dating apps. But he's afraid to say that the black women on dating apps are not meeting the standards of my black clients. That's what he needs to say. But he's going, and he'll go into another argument a little bit later. I think it's another guy that goes into an argument a little bit later. It could be geographical as well. I think that's actually legit. But this guy won't say straight up, you know what? My black clients don't want to date black women because black women don't meet their standards. So I set them up with non-black women. He doesn't want to say that. He's skating around, beating around the bush. This is weird. This guy, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to be mean-spirited. I'm not trying to call the guy out, but this guy just does not, I just can't imagine this guy. I wouldn't trust this guy with anything. I mean, I'm not trying to berate the guy, but dude, like he seems hesitant. He seems afraid. I don't understand, man.
Yeah. And that's usually how it goes.
Interesting that you say there aren't many black women to choose from when women outrank men.
Yeah, there we go.
Significantly.
Well, I think she meant to say outnumber men, but yes.
So the question then becomes, are they just women that they aren't interested in?
There we go. Do you see? You see, Tammy gets it. Tammy understands. She's just, she's like, okay, dude, like, spit it out. There are more women than men. So these men are not interested in these black women. Just say it.
Unavailable, that they are interested in, that are unavailable. Byron, jump into this conversation. The majority of married black men are still married to black women, regardless of the data.
That's right.
That Cynthia G has. Doesn't that mean black men still prefer black women?
Yes,
well,
it does.
You have your black men who are in fraternities, who are at black churches, and the predominance of influence is to make sure that they are marrying people of the same race, or black women. Now, if your black men are outside, and just to keep a note on that, that means it's perpetuated throughout that community. So that means whoever that child marries is pretty much pushed to also date and marry a black woman.
Yes.
Now, outside of the culture, or a black man who may be more around other nationalities, so white people, Asian people, etc.
There you go.
They have less influence or less push to marry someone of the same race. And I think that's why we still see high numbers, because there are still so many black men and black women in black churches being put together, and same thing in black organizations such as fraternities and sororities. So I think that's why the numbers are still extremely high. To the point that was made earlier, the truth is that a lot of people do just want to have healthy relationships.
There you go.
And
that's
the
it.
opportunity
That's exactly right.
to date outside the race is now there, which means
there you go.
I have more chances to
there
find love that is healthy, that makes me happy, and that makes me feel whole. So if that means going outside of my race, then that is okay. For some people, they are stuck in because of their parental influence or their community influence. But for others, they feel free. And
for others, they feel free. So I like how he added that in the end. I don't think he meant to do that. I could be wrong, but he said there are some people who feel pressure from their communities, their parental influence, and then for others, they feel free. So it would appear that this guy understands that black men who date outside their race are free men. The L Factor with a $10 super chat, appreciate that very much, says black men need to realize that they have a higher SMV than black women, because if it were vice versa, black women would have left us black men alone a long time ago. Yeah, those are facts. Those are facts. Technomage B5 with another $5 super chat, appreciate that very much, says, remember, gents, black women wouldn't complain about black men dating other races if they didn't care or want black men. 100%. 100%. It's just like a girl that you break up with, like your ex-girlfriend or an ex-fling or whatever, and she complains to all of her friends about you. We all know in this community that means she clearly still wants you, right? The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Black women constantly complaining about black men. I'm divesting, I'm going to date other races of men. No, you're not.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap. No, you do this to try to get our attention, so that we say, no, wait, no, you can date us. You can date it. No, we're the best option for you. We're the best option for you.
And that is why we still see such a high number, yet it's still trending up on interracial marriages.
Tax Scally Bros on the YouTube side says black women on dating apps are majority overweight with captions like, my 3 kids come first. If you can't handle that, then keep pushing.
Nina, it seems as if black women are a little less likely to dive into a different dating pool when it comes to ethnicities, but it seems like
No, Tammy, hold up. Let me correct her. Let me correct the rhetoric. Hold on, let me correct the rhetoric on this.
Nina, it seems as if black women are a little less likely to dive into a different dating pool when it comes to ethnicities. But it seems like black men, according to what Byron said, are, you know, if they can't find nothing in the black pool, they will jump over to the next color.
Real talk. Real talk. You feel me?
Do you find that so while dating?
I mean, we all get frustrated while dating. So, I mean,
So what I wanted to correct Tammy on, now I thought I heard something, but she said black women are less likely to date outside their race. She's right. But the reason why they're less likely to do it is A, they can't do it like we can, and B, most black women prefer black men. I mean, listen, man, I mean, most black women, black men are their type. That's just how it is. If black women could date black men at the rate white girls do, they would do it. They would do it. And as Tammy said before, what is it, like 80 or 90% of black men are married to women who are black. I think it's like 95% of black men who are in relationships with black women. So if most black men are in relationships with black women, what's the problem? Well, clearly the problem is that it's the top 5 to 6%. That's their problem. They don't care about the Pookies and Ray Rays of the world, okay? Those guys are a dime a dozen. No. What they want are guys like Michael B. Jordan, Taye Diggs, etc., Michael Strahan, etc.
I can see that it coming from probably a point of frustration with probably the type of women that you may encounter. So a change is what you probably would look for. So I definitely can see why it could be a possibility. I mean, I've thought about it myself. Not that I don't love my black men, but just for a change or a difference, or see how it is. I mean, I don't think nothing's wrong with it. It's what makes you happy.
I don't see nothing wrong.
I know you were trying to chime in there. Go ahead.
Oh, here we go.
Yes. So
get in there, Cynthia.
I want to say this.
Get on in there.
We're ignoring data here, and I understand.
Here we go. We're ignoring data. Here we go. This is what it's all of this. See, this is what people like Cynthia G like to do. They like to ignore empirical data and go with some sort of foreign data. Well, we're ignoring the data. What data are we ignoring, Cynthia? Where does the data show that men who consistently date outside their race are not as happy as when they're dating within their race? Where is that?
Why I make the disclaimer about why
we need this data. Okay.
No, we need that.
No, I want to finish because I want to emphasize why black men are ignoring the data, because the data does not fit what they are saying. They're saying they're crossing the pond because they want happiness. The data says you're not getting happiness. The data says your relationships, when you go outside your race, have the highest failure rate among anybody. So
and again, where is she getting this? So she's saying that black men who are in black men who are in relationships with non-black women have the highest relationship failure rate. Where are you getting this from? What people are they polling? Is this everybody in the United States? Is this assuming everyone's being honest? What are we doing here?
Not finding happiness, first of all. Secondly, I want to respond to Byron. When you say that interracial relationships is increasing, that's true. It's increasing because black men are making it increase. And what's decreasing is the black marriage rate.
No. Interracial relationships are increasing because by and large, the average rank and file black woman as a collective are no longer the best options for the best black men. That's why. Black women have no one to blame but themselves for this. Yes, we decided to seek greener pastures elsewhere. But one thing that Cynthia G fails to mention, and she knows this is true, but she'd never admit this, what black women who complain about black women always fail to mention is that black men, okay, we give black women the right of first refusal. Let me say that again. We always give black women the right of first refusal. In other words, the vast majority of black men, we prefer black women at first. My very first girlfriend was black. Her name was Cassandra Harris. Met her in Hawaii. Beautiful, dark-skinned black girl. We were both in the band. It was all fun and great, right? We give black women the right of first refusal, but black women have taken for granted that we are going to be with them for so long, they've let themselves go. They're overweight, they have an attitude. We all know the laundry list of things that make black women unattractive, but then we have Cynthia G here telling everyone, well, black men are making it increase. No. The reason why interracial relationships, one of the main reasons why interracial relationships are on the rise is because black women are no longer, as a collective, the best option for the best black men. That's it. That's it. This is not our fault, Ms. G. This is the fault of the black woman. Black women have nobody to blame but themselves. And as soon as sisters out here can get that through their thick skull and actually admit it out loud and do something about it, the better off we'll all be.
First of all, already a very small amount of black people get married. So of that small amount, yes, of the 26% of black men who get married, yes, the majority of them are marrying black women, but that's
okay. So what's the problem?
a tiny percentage of the population, especially given part of that population is them marrying white as well. So no, black men do not have this dedication to black women. They've always viewed white womanhood as better inherently than black women.
No. We have not viewed womanhood as inherently better. No. White women have shown themselves as a collective to be better options than black women. She keeps trying to, and again, women like Cynthia G love to make this argument. We just got up one day and decided for no other reason but that we just hate ourselves. You know what? I'm through with black women. I'm going to go out here and date white girls. No. No. The reason black men are walking away from relationships with black women is because of black women. She keeps trying to blame us for their problem.
Womanhood, and this is what all the data sources are pointing to.
Here we go. All the data
and that's
sources.
why they're ignoring.
Here we go.
I think Speedy has, I don't quite believe that Speedy is ignoring the data because of the data itself. I think Speedy's ignoring the data because he is not the data.
I am not the data.
There you go.
Like,
well,
that's why he's
I am not like that. I love it.
You know,
a personal point of view, though. But that's what they do. They'll talk from an individual perspective by the means of gaslighting. I want to talk about the overall picture, not your personal relationship, because we can't confirm that you're happy in your relationship.
oh, whoa. We can't confirm that we're happy in your relationship. So where did they get the data from? How did they get the data? Because the data is specifically based on people's personal experiences. She just said that we can't confirm whether or not you're happy in your relationship. Okay, fair enough. But what makes you think that we can confirm that the people are not in happy relationships? She keeps telling us that the data shows that black men who are in relationships with non-black women have the highest failure rate. How do we know that? Are they telling them this? Is there paperwork? Are they getting, are they filling out forms? All the data she is talking about, all the data she is telling us that quote unquote proves her point is literally based on people's personal experience. So we can't confirm nor deny that Speedy is happy in his relationship. Okay, listen, nobody really knows, but we don't know about the people in her data set either. This is ridiculous.
Can't confirm it. We would have to go by your words, but the data is saying that you're not happy. And
see, we have to go by your words, but the data is saying that you're not happy. No, the data is saying that the people polled are not happy, and we can't confirm that they're unhappy. It's literally the same thing. So she's disqualifying Speedy for saying, look, I'm happy in my relationship. She says, well, I don't know if you're happy or not. You might just be telling us that. Okay, that's fair, I guess. But then again, in that data set, it's literally the same thing.
If we're gonna say that Speedy, that we can't confirm whether Speedy is happy or not, then how can we confirm that the people who reported on the data that they're happy or not if it's non-confirmable?
Ding, ding.
See? There we go. This is why this was the moment where I was like, okay, Tammy Mack she's a good host. She's a good host. She appears to play it straight, right down the middle. That's it. if we're going to assume if we're going to assume that we can't assume that Speedy is happy, then how can we assume that the people were either happy or unhappy in the relationship? Now let's hear Cynthia's answer.
Thank you.
Now, please say this.
I mean, well, you can say that, but the data is what it is. And an example.
Oh, see, yeah. Now you can say that, but the data is what it is. No, Cynthia. No, Cynthia. You just got debunked. You see, what just happened here with Cynthia G is what happens in a court of law. Let's say there's a criminal trial, right? And the prosecution can't mention a certain element of the case unless the defense brings it up. Defense attorneys, more cases are lost in criminal court than cases won, right? So in other words, the burden of proof is on the prosecution to show innocence or to prove guilt beyond all reasonable doubt. And to that end, it is the defense attorney's job to make sure that there are certain things, certain elements, certain pieces of evidence stay out that could possibly incriminate his client. But if he gets his client on the stand and mentions something that wasn't previously in discovery, or that was sort of a that was sort of an off limits discussion as far as the defense is concerned, what's the prosecution do? Oh, okay, so you just brought up the red dress, and the red dress had the evidence on it. So now the prosecution is going to say, I'm going to cross-examine. So when the defense says, objection, Your Honor, that wasn't admitted into evidence, you know what the judge is going to say? You're right, counselor, but you brought it up. Cynthia G just sat here. She hung herself. She says, we can't confirm that you're happy in your relationship. Fair enough. But then she says that the data shows that you're not happy. And Tammy Mack just called her out. If we can assume that we can't assume that Speedy is happy, then we can't assume that the people in the data set are happy or unhappy. What is Cynthia's answer? You can say what you want, but the data is what it is. Gentlemen, this is willful ignorance. Her argument just got blown out of the water by the host, no doubt. And what's her answer? The data is what it is. Okay, well, listen. If that's the way, if that's the way she's going to play it, if that's the way black women are going to play it and do this, they are going to end up buying a dog and dying alone. You can talk about the data all you want to, but empirical facts are empirical facts.
Of that is Kanye.
Well, hold that thought. I want Speedy to get a chance to respond.
It just, you know what's so weird? If I sat here and said, women, this, that, and the other, I'm not a woman. I can never say that statement. For somebody else to go, black men are this, that, and the other, and you not a black man. Why not just ask this? You have three black men in this room. Why not just say, hey, Speedy, why did you marry a white woman? I would say, I didn't look at her as white. I looked at her as the person that I wanted to be with. And
how about this? Because I wanted to, and leave it at that. As I said before, we don't owe anybody an explanation. We don't owe black women an explanation. We don't owe black men. We don't owe white girls. We don't owe anyone an explanation for why we do what we do, least of all our dating choices. I don't feel the need to explain myself to anybody. You, gentlemen, you do not have to explain yourself to anybody. Now, I'm a content creator, and clearly my content is explaining why I do what I do. But out in the real world, if someone comes up and Donovan, why are you dating, or why are you dating a white girl? Because that's what I want to do. Black men, you don't owe black women an explanation. Speedy doesn't owe them an explanation. It's almost as though he asked himself this question so that he could give this explanation. He doesn't have to do that. Just say, I married a white woman because that's what I wanted to do. Prime VA 757 says the high failure stat was from 2002 and it was debunked years later. Okay. Miguel Bermudez with the $5 super chat, appreciate that, says since 2011, black male incarcerated. Let me repeat that. Since 2011, black male incarceration has decreased by 32%. Also, Loving versus Virginia was the first interracial relationship with a white man and a black woman. They don't talk about that. No, they don't. Another $2 super chat from 860 Saying God says she suffers from a tribal mindset. I would agree. 860 Saying God, again, another $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Says she said black men have low standards dating outside their race. So basically, in her mind, black women are of the highest standards. That's what she's indirectly telling us. If that's what she thinks, that's fine. she can point. Listen, she can point to whatever the data says, but out in the real world, that tells a different story.
And she
But
just
you
so
knew
happened
she was white,
to be
though,
white.
Speedy.
But I'm saying she just so happened to be white. That's the person I decided to settle down. I had options. I had about 6 options, and they
come
were
on.
all of different backgrounds, and that's the one I chose. Now you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm not happy, and I just don't want to tell you," or
Yeah,
the
that's
data
ridiculous.
shows the data. Come on, man. Just talk to somebody.
You
How
don't
about
date
talk to people
data.
around
Okay,
you?
you
We don't date data.
Disregarding
Yeah.
so are we disregarding all
If that's
that?
if that's the point, okay, let's do it. I'm gonna do this point.
All the data because
So here we are, disregarding all that. She keeps pointing to the data. And Cynthia, she can point to the data all she wants to. Out in the real world, it's a different story. Black men are, dude, if a black man has high value, dude, we talk about this all the time. Black women talk about this all the time. Man, as soon as he makes it out of the hood, the first thing he does is goes and gets a white girl. Where's the data on that? I don't know if there's data on that, but out in the real world, the empirical data, the actual experiences, this is what happened. This is what's happening. And Cynthia is, what she's trying to do here, guys, what this whole thing is really about with Cynthia G, she's trying to negotiate attraction, guys. And that simply can't be done. She keeps trying to tell us that the reason why we're dating white women is because of X, Y, and Z, when you really should be, no, you can't negotiate attraction. Men are going to date and marry who they want to date and marry. It has nothing to do with data. It has nothing to do with what you think. Black women they've taken black men for granted long enough. As I pointed out in my opening monologue, back in the day, black women used to be ride or die for black men, but somewhere along the way, they took black men for granted. And black men said, okay, well, if you're going to take us for granted, if you're going to talk trash about us all the time, then I'll go where I'm appreciated and not tolerated. And now they have a problem with it. So much so that they're making up these imaginary statistics to justify their anger. It's ridiculous. Helfong on the Sharpe stream side said she accidentally admitted that 1 in 4 black women will marry. Yeah, she did, didn't she?
experience is true. And that's what
Well, we
Can I
know
say
that
this?
data can.
Can I say this?
Go ahead. Hold that thought, Cynthia. Go ahead, Speedy.
I have 8 kids, 4 sons, 4 daughters.
God damn. 8 kids. God damn, Speedy. Guess they don't call him Speedy for nothing.
I might as well say the data says that one of my sons are going to go to jail. None of my kids have been to jail, but the data says at least one black man out of 5 has gone to jail.
Okay, well, now that is a more accurate data point, but he's pointing out the exception to the rule, right? I hear where Speedy's coming from. What he is doing, he is essentially discrediting Cynthia's data and saying, listen, just because the data says one thing doesn't mean that it will happen in this way. So he's saying, listen, the data says 1 in 5 black men will end up in jail. I, unfortunately, am a part of that data, right? I spent a total of 2 weeks in jail my entire life. So I'm a part of that data. It is what it is. I'm not ashamed of it, not proud of it. It is what it is. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to say, look, just because the data says one thing doesn't mean that we're destined to do to fulfill those data points.
None of my kids have gone to jail.
Yes.
Not at all. So do I believe the data or do you believe me?
Well, we got to give it time, Speedy.
Hilarious.
Wait, hold on. Hold up. Is that what Tammy said? Hold up. That was funny. That was actually
Black
funny.
man out of 5 has gone to jail. None of my kids have gone to jail.
Yes.
Not at all. So do I believe the data or do you believe me?
Well, we got to give it time, Speedy.
Hilarious.
Fair enough. Tax Cali Bro says homie couldn't pull out of a driveway. Dude, real talk, man. 8 kids. God damn. Dude, no wonder he's a comedian, man. You gotta laugh that shit off. Shout out to him, though.
That is a very silly argument. That's a silly argument to say that because one of your sons hasn't been incarcerated yet, that somehow you can then believe mass incarceration. It's foolish.
The point that he's making is that data is dependent on individual experience.
There you go.
So, no matter how much data you have out there, one's personal experience is always going to usurp or override.
There you go.
That data.
There you go.
You can live by data and say, well, I guess I have to do it because that's what the data said. Or you can live and your experiences may say,
Contradict
bump
the
the data.
This is exactly what I was talking about. Yes, listen. Are there accurate data points out there? Are there accurate statistics out there? Of course. anything that is documented, anything that is quantifiable, anything that is verified, there can be studies done. But we all know that studies and statistics can be made to say whatever you want them to say. This is how propaganda works. Guys, this is how propaganda works. What the guy in the upper left-hand corner is essentially saying is, look, live your life and see for yourself. Live your life and see for yourself. Maybe the quote-unquote data makes you biased, but keep an open mind and see what happens. What Cynthia G is trying to do here with this whole fiasco, she is trying to discourage black men from dating outside their race. She is trying to make up this imaginary data. Black men are not finding happiness with non-black women. Dude, that's cap. Because if black men weren't finding happiness with non-black women, then more top-level black men would be marrying and dating black women. But they are finding happiness. That's why they're leaving behind black women who have taken them for granted and have no respect for them. Again, listen, she's entitled to feel however she feels. If she hates black men, no skin off my back. No skin off my back. I'm not tripping over that. If she thinks niggas ain't shit, cool. Hey, if your experiences tell you niggas ain't shit, I ain't mad at you. But she's not talking about me. And I know she's not talking about me. So I'm not tripping. But all this data is absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
But the reason you're saying that is because the data contradicts what you're saying. Well, look, if the data was in favor of what you were saying, I highly doubt you would be saying disregard the data. You would likely be using it to support your point.
Which is exactly what she is doing. Because if he did say, well, the data shows that black men are more happy with non-black women, what would she say? Well, you don't know where that data came from. We can't confirm that the black women who said that they were happy in their relationships with non-black women, we can't confirm that they're really happy. So which is it, Cynthia?
But the data doesn't pan out that way.
Kyle says on the YouTube side, says, amazing they point out the exception doesn't make the rule when it benefits them. That is exactly right. Women of all races, anytime they learn or hear unflattering things about women as a collective, the first thing they do, well, I know someone who was XYZ, or I don't know any women like that. Even if they're telling the truth, and let's face it, most of them aren't. Even if they were telling the truth, that's the exception and not the rule. And most fair-minded people can say, okay, so I know an exception. That does not make the rule. Yet, Speedy just said, listen, I've got 5 sons, or I've got 4 sons. None of them have been to jail. What does Cynthia say? Well, you're the exception to the rule. And then she goes a step further and says just because none of your sons have been incarcerated yet. Cynthia G is she is low-key disrespecting Speedy. She's low-key disrespected him. This is bad form, man. This is why, dude, Cynthia G is the quintessential example of why black women are out here losing. It really is a shame, but that's the way it is.
To a black man? Are you married to a black man?
What we do know, because
data on that. Is that a yes or no?
Are you married to a black man?
We'll take a quick.
Oh boy. Oh, well, how about that? So Speedy asked Cynthia, are you married to a black man? She conveniently avoids that. Now, I don't know who Cynthia's married to, and to be honest with you, I don't care. But if she isn't married to a black man, and I assume that that's the reason why she's not answering this question, this points to the direct contradiction and hypocrisy when it comes to black women and interracial dating. They have no problem with black women who are divestors. No problem at all. No problem at all. But then when a black man dates a white girl, now it's a problem. You guys remember this?
I think the solution here is for black men, date, marry, love black women, which I know is super hypocritical because I've dated white men. I have.
See? She admits it. Listen, that's super hypocritical because I've dated white men before, but please, by all means, date and marry us. No, not going to happen.
Break.
And she was beautiful, by the way. Wow.
Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. I'm Tammy Mack on Fox Soul, and the business of being black today is black men. Do they set higher standards when dating black women versus others? Now, Speedy suggests in the last segment that there are 3 black men on this panel. Why not just ask them why they date who they date? So, KT, why do you date who you date, and do you date white women?
Well,
oh God, dude. So she said there are 3 other black men on the panel. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm counting 4 black men on the panel, but 2 of the 4 don't really count because they play for the other team, so to speak. So let's just keep that in mind.
a lot of my experience dating just came from demographics.
Oh my
I think
God.
demographic is like
This
huge.
guy.
Like, for example, I went to school, started going to school, like got out of the inner city, started going to college, started going to the gym, started doing
KT,
a
this
lot of.
sounding very much like why I've been dating white women. all
Yeah,
my life.
exactly. Like, dude, and here's the thing. He said he got out of the hood. This dude is about as hood as I am. Get out of here with that. You weren't, dude. The way this dude talks, he's not from no inner city. Like, this guy's afraid to admit that he's not the basic, like what are we doing? Just be honest. Why do you date white girls? Because I like the way white girls look. Just be honest. No, well, it's the demographics and the geography, and what had happened was he's trying to convince us that he would date black women if more of them were around, but they're not, so he doesn't. That's cap.
Yeah.
Now, very much
See, there you
like
go.
When I came out my mama's stomach, I was like, find me a white woman.
Real talk. Go on.
Not really. It was
You about to
more
make
like,
Cynthia smile. Right?
Uh-oh, watch out.
Go ahead, KT.
Watch
I'm
out.
sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. Go ahead, KT.
yeah. So a lot of my experience with the women I dated just came because not because of standards, but just I was demographically more around them, like more. You know, when it came to like pursuing different things, like the venues I was going to, the college I was at was like.
Okay, now, in his defense, there is something to what he is saying. The bottom line here, guys, there are far more white women in America than there are black women. Only 7%, black women make up only 7% of the population. White women make up, I think, 26 or 27% of the population. There are simply more white women, literally, as a number, there are more white women than there are black women. And when there are more white women than black women, you're going to have more white women to choose from. And if you're not in the hood, or if you are in cities that are predominantly white, which is most of the time, as the majority of people in this country are white, you are going to gravitate to what is around and available. That's just how it is. But you don't need to make that the excuse. Like, I understand where he's going, but that's not the reason he doesn't date black women. He doesn't date black women for the same reason a lot of men don't date black women. They don't meet his standards, and he's afraid to say it.
Very like majority of the race.
Shout out to Don Levon for welcoming the chat privileges. At Don Levon to welcome him to the TSR family. If you would, Don Levon, put your age and location in the chat. And while we're at it, let's just go ahead and do an age and location check in the chat. Give us your age and where in the world you are from. Let's continue.
So what college did you graduate? What college did you attend?
I went to RIT. It's like a engineering tech school
Okay.
in upstate New York.
In New York, okay.
So,
And so your dating pool has been majority black or white women?
white. Yeah, majority. I would say 95%.
Okay, so, well, you make a valid point.
Yeah, it's valid.
Based on how you're raised, where you're raised, your, where you're going, who you're hanging out with, because of the college that you attend,
All
or
facts.
because of the church that you attend, or even because of the neighborhood that you attend.
There you go.
I tend to find that rich, women find rich white men where rich white men are,
Right.
or where, you know, women find athletes where athletes are.
There you
so
go.
They make sure that they circle those spaces where
Uh-oh.
those people are.
Uh-oh.
And so perhaps that has something to do
Tammy Mac's about to get him.
with why a man would choose, black man would choose a white woman. Byron, what about you?
Agree. I have to agree. For me, it is definitely because of environment. When I was living in Pittsburgh, I was around. It was very minimal on the black women,
Right.
And black men. When I was living in Philly, it was heavy on the black people. When I lived.
He must have been out. He wasn't around Center City, because Center City is like, it's all gentrified now.
In Charlotte, it was in between, and living in Atlanta, we all over the place.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
It
Real talk.
definitely makes it easier to date within your race when your race is more prevalent where you live, or at the places that you go to, or the
There
people
you
that
go.
you normally hang
There
around.
you go.
So
All
for
facts.
me, it's been a little bit all over the place because of the environment, and I think
There you
that's
go.
true for everyone. Yes, you can search in another city, another state, but if you're living like in Atlanta, we're here, but right outside of Atlanta. If you live right outside, even 30 to 40
Yep.
minutes, you're already,
Yep.
the numbers of us go down.
Oh yeah, listen, he is not lying. He is not lying, dude. McDonough, Alpharetta. I mean, and I'm very familiar with the Atlanta area and all surrounding areas. Clayton County, nothing but Negroes. Forest Park, East Point, Riverdale, College Park. Did I say that already?
Drastically. So it depends on if
Don Levon with the comment of the day. He says, no one in 2022 is going to the hood looking for women. Holy shit. That's exactly right, Don. That's exactly right. Come on.
environment heavily when you're talking about the data.
Real
Tammy,
talk.
Interesting that you
somebody
said, go
didn't
ahead,
answer my
sweetie.
question, Tammy. Somebody didn't answer my question.
Uh-oh. Somebody didn't answer my question. Guys, please hit the like button. We have 863 watching. Try to get me to 400 likes, please.
The young lady didn't.
So old boy, and I keep forgetting his name, he's going to quiz Cynthia on whether or not she's married. We'll see.
Depends on environment heavily when you're talking about the data.
But
Tammy,
it's interesting that you
somebody
said, go
didn't
ahead,
answer my
sweetie.
question, Tammy. Somebody didn't answer my question.
Uh-oh.
The young lady didn't answer my question.
And I'm not, and I know he's referring to me, and I'm not going to answer your question.
Why not?
Because
Why not?
I'm going to tell you because I'm not here to discuss my personal life.
Right. And you see, this right here is the problem. This is the problem. She is complaining that black men aren't dating black women. She has all this imaginary data to suggest that black men are not happy in their relationships with non-black women. Yet when someone on the panel says, well, are you in a relationship with a black man? Well, I'm not here to discuss that. Translation? Nope. She's not. How can you be a quote unquote divester, but still bitch and moan about the fact that black men aren't dating women like you? It seems counterintuitive, does it not?
That's why
Wait a minute. We're discussing our personal life.
my personal, because you brought it into the situation. You brought your
boy.
personal life here.
Here
You
we
told
go.
us who you were married to and the race of the woman that you were married to. I did not offer that information, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Yes, this means that you are not married to or dating a black man. And look, and here's the thing. Cynthia G doesn't owe us an explanation. She doesn't owe, dude, look, if Cynthia G wants to date white dudes, baby girl, do you. Like, I'm not mad at you. Like, dude, go out and get you the white boys. Like, do what you got to do. But by the same token, don't chastise black men for not doing something that you're not willing to do. Black men need to date black women. Okay, if that's your opinion, that's fine. But how can you complain about the fact that black women are not being chosen by black men when you're not choosing black men? Right? Like, listen, I'm pro man. I'm not pro white, pro black. No, I am pro male. I'm on the side of men. I don't bitch and moan about the fact that there are some black women out there who swirl. I don't care. Any black man, and I'll put this on black men too, any black man who is overly concerned with the dating life of black women, that is a man who does not have options. Remember what I said at the beginning of the podcast. The main reason why black women are always tripping about who we date in our dating lives is because they don't have the same options as we do. They don't have the same options as we do. They can't date they can't date non-black men at the rate that we can date non-black women. That's their problem. But then Cynthia wants to turn around and say, well, my personal life is not the one up for discussion. Yeah, that's cute.
But at the end,
but let me do this. Let me say, can I say this one thing?
Sure, go ahead.
If a black man is married to a black woman and it shows that he could not be happy as well, then the person you married to could not be happy.
I didn't say that.
Oh, here we go.
I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
You said the
no,
data.
You said the data set.
I said the data shows that black men are not experiencing happiness when they go outside their race. Now, if I
Yeah, this is propaganda. This is propaganda. What Cynthia G and black men, my brothers who are watching this, you can't listen to women like Cynthia G. You simply can't. You have to go out there and experience it for yourself. She's making up these fake data sets to scare black men out of dating outside their race. She's doing the same thing our mothers did. My mother used to try to scare me out of dating white girls all the time. Oh, one's going to get you put in jail and this and that and the third and blah, 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 blah. It didn't matter because to me, black women were so far gone from my standards. As far as I was concerned, I was willing to risk it. And black women all the time talk about, oh, black men don't find happiness and white girls get you locked up. Even if these black men believe these boogeyman stories that they tell about white women to scare them out of doing it, black men are still dating out. They're saying, you know what? There could be something to what you're saying, but I'll take my chances. That right there speaks to how can I put this? That speaks to the deplorable state of the American black woman. The fact that black men are willing to risk their very freedom to find some sort of happiness, that speaks to the quality or lack thereof that black women have. You mean to tell me that your race of men, they want to stay so far away from you, they're willing to risk their very freedom to date outside the race? That's not a good thing, Cynthia. Even if what she said was correct, black men are tired. They're tired. They're like, you know what? I'll take my chances.
I would have said it about black women, I would have said the opposite, because the data actually says black women have healthier, happier, longer lasting relationships when they go outside their race. I'm saying black men are not. In the example.
Oh, there it is. See? There it is. So she backed up her contradiction with more data, right? The data shows that black women are happier when they date outside their race, but it shows that black men are unhappy when they date outside their race. Cynthia, what are we doing? What are we doing, Cynthia? Come on.
I was going to give you, as you're sitting here talking about your relationship and progression, was this Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Kanye West initially came out talking about how pure Kim Kardashian was, how she was the best woman on earth, how happy he was with her. This was his dream girl, only to then turn around and talk about living with her was like living with the prison warden. So at the end of the day, you're
okay. But the exception doesn't make the rule. Like Cynthia, you can't use you can't compare celebrity relationships to everyday relationships. And yeah, maybe Kim Kardashian was like living with a prison warden. Maybe there are some white women out there that are like living with a prison warden. But guess what? There are more white girls to choose from than there are black women. And listen, I've said this before. I've said this before. More black women misbehave than black women. More white women are more poorly behaved than black women a lot of the times. And the reason why is because of privilege and all that good stuff, right? The world is their oyster and all that other kind of stuff, right? There are more white women on food stamps than black women. There are more white women who have committed paternity fraud than black women. More white women have cheated on their significant others than black women. There's no doubt about that. Here's the rub. It's the percentage. You see, the reason why there are more white women on food stamps than black women or on Medicaid is because there are more of them. That's the bottom line. It's not about the actual raw number. It is about the percentage. The percentage of black women on welfare dwarfs the percentage of white women on welfare. The percentage of black women who commit paternity fraud dwarfs the percentage of white women who commit paternity fraud. The percentage of white women who get married, however, dwarfs the percentage of black women who get married. And there's a reason for that.
Your relationship is still progressing. We can't confirm or deny anything.
There she goes again.
I don't even know why you brought your personal relationship in.
Again, we can't confirm nor deny. These data points she's talking about are literally based on people's personal relationships. So because we can't confirm or deny his relationship, we're supposed to be able to confirm the fake data she's given us? Come on.
Discussion, except that you're triggered because the information.
Oh, I'm not triggered.
Here we go.
Now, when it goes to the standards, I want to say something about the standards. Because the standard of white women that black men pick have also been documented several times. And I'm looking at an article right now that literally.
Yeah. So she was looking at a graph before, but now she's looking at an article. Well, she has all the answers, doesn't she?
Notes that black men were dating quote unquote second tier white women. And this was in the early 1900s by New York Times.
Okay, fair enough. Because only the low quality white women were available to black men at that point in time. It's 2022, Cynthia. It's 2022. Black men with options are not dating low quality white women. Again, these are boogeyman statistics. She's pulling this stuff out of thin air. She's pulling this stuff out of thin air. Black Lemur 2009 says, a white woman will kill you, though, or maybe I just watched too much the ID channel. You're right. You're right. But then Don Levon says, but black women will get you killed. There it is. There it is. There it is. No, listen. Black Lemur 2009, you're absolutely right. A white woman will she will kill you. She will end you. But so will black women. So as a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and let's just keep it real. More white women have ended black men than black women have ended black men. But guess what? The percentage, once again, is askew. You see, the percentage of black women who have ended the lives of black men is much higher than the percentage of white women who have ended the lives of black men, either directly or indirectly. So she can talk about this data all she wants to. And Blink the Bodhisai on the YouTube side says, documented based on what? What's supposed to be second tier? Yeah. Again, she's just pulling things. She's making stuff up at this point. Dre Raven on the Sharpe stream side says, if black men weren't happy in their interracial relationships, number one, you wouldn't see an increase in those relationships. And number two, hate to say it, but if they were truly miserable, you would see black women cackling gleefully about how unhappy black men are. Exactly. The only person that I have ever heard say that black men are unhappy in their relationships with non-black women is Cynthia G. That's the only one. And it's just like Dre Raven just said. If black men were failing at a higher rate with non-black women would be cackling about it. But let's just say, for example, Cynthia, we're telling the truth. Let's just say that black men who date non-black women have the highest relationship failure rate, marriages, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case may be. Black men are still abandoning black women. So the fact that she is pointing out that black men are unhappy in their relationships with non-black women, and the fact that black men there's still a mass exodus of black men to date non-black women, again, that speaks to the deplorable state of black women. She's not doing herself any favors here. She's not doing herself any favors. If black men were so miserable in their relationships with black women, then why do the numbers keep increasing? And if what she says is true, why do they continue to increase? It is either non-black women are a better option, or black women are the worst option. It's like it's the same debate. It's almost like the same debate when it comes to Eli Manning. Is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? Yes or no? And one thing that a lot of analysts say, well, Eli Manning, it's kind of a paradox. He's either the worst of the best or the best of the worst. This is where black women find themselves in terms of their sexual market value hierarchy. Black women are either the best of the worst women out there or the worst of the best. Either way, you're not doing them any favors here, Ms. G.
When they were discussing Frederick Douglass being with Helen Pitts, I actually would like to quote it for you so that you will know how
she's talking. Now, see, she's talking about historical stuff. She's talking about like hundreds of years ago. What are we doing?
long you've actually been, black men have been tied to not having standards. And I think they're trying to deflect to get away from the aspect of the standards. We're talking about these standards that black men have. And as I'm looking at this, it says we are opposed to colored men marrying second-rate white women, yet we do not see anything in the above threat to deter them from doing so if they wish.
Again, Cynthia, this is because back in the day, the only white women who were available to black men weren't the highest quality white women. They simply were not. This is ridiculous. King Life on the YouTube side says, early 1900s, if a brother was messing with Becky, his life would be in danger. Cynthia's lying her ass off.
Yep.
100%.
So there's nowhere in history where black men have been documented to having any standards when it comes to non-black women, except for their proximity to whiteness. And that's why.
So what Cynthia G is telling us here is basically, we don't care about how she looks. We don't care about how she acts. We don't care about how she treats us. As long as she's white, we want her. Come on. That's ridiculous. Like, I don't have a problem with Cynthia G. She can do and say whatever she wants to say, but come on, man. Really? Come on.
If you look throughout history, black men have actively been fighting for it.
So Nina, I want to get you in here real quick. What has been your experience when dating black men? Do you find that they put expectations on you?
I don't. Actually, I think it's probably the same expectations with any female. They just want you not to be, I guess.
They want you fit, feminine, and friendly. And they also want you to be a woman.
Really aggressive. And I think sometimes they label black women as a little aggressive, and maybe that's the reason why they probably choose the other. But I mean, that's so
we don't label black women aggressive. They are. Nobody's labeling anybody. Again, I just want to make this clear. Black men just didn't wake up and all of a sudden decide, you know what? We're just gonna crap on black women. We're gonna crap on black women. We've never liked black women. We just want to crap on them, and we want to. No. It's ridiculous.
Historic, because now.
Yeah, Blink the Bodhisai says even Megatron gets it.
With everybody being mixed race mostly around here now, I mean, you have other ethnic backgrounds and races that are snappy, aggressive. I mean, there's a lot of different characteristics.
And she's absolutely right. There are other races of women who have the same sensibilities as the average rank and file black women. Absolutely. But black women have the highest percentage. As I stated not 5 minutes ago, more white women are poorly behaved than black women. There are more white women who have committed paternity fraud than black women. There are more white women who are on government assistance, food stamps, Section 8, et cetera, et cetera. But that's because there are more white women as a whole. The percentage, however, is nowhere near black women. So she can miss me with this.
It really doesn't matter. To me, you can Google all the data that you want. But it's based on your experience. So, I mean.
I want to stay with you here, Nina.
John Henry says, is this a woman?
Nope.
No, she is apparently a Soundwave. And by the way, Soundwave he's my favorite Transformer. I need to get a Soundwave t-shirt, actually. Love me some Soundwave.
Because I want to talk about black women versus white women aesthetically.
Oh boy.
Features that have usually been attributed to black women are full lips, curvy bodies, and
is that another burp? Hold up. Somebody keeps burping on the pod. Hold up.
I want to talk about black women versus white women aesthetically. Features that have usually been attributed to black women are full lips, curvy bodies.
That's a burp, dude. Somebody's burping.
And those features are now more attainable to every woman through surgery. And we've often, for decades, if not centuries, have talked about how white women want fuller lips like us, how white women want curvier bodies like us, and how white women want to be tanned and be even darker like us. Kim Kardashian, Cynthia G brought up, is a perfect example of that. She's oftentimes been criticized of code switching in a whole different way, I guess.
Black Lemur 2009 said, more than meets the eye.
She's oftentimes been tapped on doing that, on perpetrating her blackness, her black fishing, if you will.
And I mean, listen, man, if a woman wants fuller lips and all that good stuff, that's fine. That's fine. And listen, genetically speaking, black women have superior genetics in terms of if, how can I say this? In terms of body types, right? Now listen, man, if a girl looks good, listen, if a girl is super skinny, has small boobs, if she has a nice butt, I'll smash. Dude, I've smashed plenty of skinny girls. Not really my first type, but hey, if a girl is hot, she's hot, right? I'm a guy. I like women who are curvy in a good way. Those of you guys who have followed me, if you guys look at my Instagram, Devin is the embodiment of a woman who is curvy. She literally has an hourglass figure. She has a nice round, tight ass. Her legs are toned and muscular. She has nice, large, surgically enhanced tits, and she has a flat stomach. Devin has an awesome body. Most black women could have that body if they wanted to. The problem is they don't want to hit the gym. So, I mean, what are we supposed to do? Blame white girls for trying to look a little bit more fuller and thicker for the men they want? I'm not mad at that. And Don Levon says black women get the BBL too. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Mark Whitmore just said Wheeljack is greater than Soundwave. Dude, you're lucky. You're lucky I like you. Otherwise, I'd have banned the fuck out of you. No way. Dude, I'm taking Soundwave 10 times out of 10, dude.
Do you believe that...
And the reason why I take Soundwave, I got 4 reasons I take Soundwave. Laserbeak, Ravage, Rumble, and Frenzy. Uh-oh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Black men like white women in their own natural beauty, or do they like white women who have the beauty of black women?
Now, who have the beauty of black women. So, a lot of black women like to say, well, black men have been influenced by European standards, this beauty standard, blah, 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 blah. Well, wait a minute. If they're saying that we are being brainwashed to like white women, she just said that white women are trying to look like black women. So what's the real beauty standard here?
That's good. I'm glad you asked me that, only because I also work for an international company. So we have different backgrounds. And so I'm in IT as well. So because it's primarily men, I've actually had a discussion with several men, several backgrounds and stuff, and they've been married too, white, black, it doesn't matter. They actually state they don't have like this type of stigma or this standard for someone to look a particular way. It's us as women that actually look at it the most on looks and things like that. It really has nothing to do with that. It's us. As women, we look at other women, non-black or black, and we look at what they have and want it or dream of it or figure out ways to get it. And it makes us envious and have these type of thoughts that we have now about these different standards between the two, when really there is none. You just
that was a whole lot of nothing. That was a whole lot of nothing. Ladies, regardless of your race, if you want to get chosen, get into shape. If you want to get chosen, get into shape. Longshot Beat says obesity ain't beautiful. Nope. It certainly is not. Longshot Beat says, is that blonde chick a dude?
Yep.
Not really. We like to call her Starscream. Just like we refer to people who play for the other team, we refer to them as switch hitters or a Chipper Jones, so to speak.
You should worry about yourself.
She said you just should worry about yourself.
Real talk.
Well, I want to ask the fellows on the panel about the physical attributes of black women versus white women and what makes them more or less attractive when we return on the business of being black with Tammy Mack. I'm Tammy Mack. We coming right back because it's getting hot up in here.
I like Tammy Mack, man. I gotta tell you, I like her. She's a very good moderator.
Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. Before the break, we talked about the...
Dre Raven says Wheeljack is my favorite Autobot. Yeah, you can't. Oh my, no, dude, no. Soundwave greater than Wheeljack. God damn it.
Differences physically between black women and white women. Features that have usually been attributed to black women, like full lips and curvy bodies, are now more attainable to every woman through surgery. And more women are beginning to get thicker lips. And
Florida Man says, I've seen white women with round butts and muscular legs, especially at the gym. Exactly. You don't need a BBL to have a nice ass. You need to work out. Devin has a beautiful ass. And if you don't believe me, go look at my Instagram. Devin has a beautiful ass. Why? Because she works out 5 days a week for with a trainer I pay very handsomely, no pun intended, to train her.
curvier bodies, and of course that everlasting tan where you love to just kind of, add that melanin into your skin a little bit. Speedy, when you dated black women, did you find them more or less attractive than...
I do like Sideswipe. Sideswipe, yeah. Sideswipe is awesome too.
White women? Was there a certain type of attraction?
No, I love women in general.
Yes.
Period.
There you
Didn't matter
go.
what you... I like big girls more than anything. So I was more attracted to women of the plus size.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
that's
Hey,
been
to each his own, I
how
suppose.
it is my whole life. Also, too, I have black daughters. And I don't teach them, or they're not learning from me, oh, you shouldn't like being black and you should date anybody you want to date. I let them be who they are. But they are black women, strong black women. I have a college...
Oh, Black Lemur 2009. Just nailed it. Says Becky's butt goes down and then out. Sister's butts go straight out. Absolutely. The white girl ass... Oh my, dude, the white girl ass comes down and it's nice and oh my God. Yes. See, I'm not into that shelf booty. I don't like my girl's back. Like if I'm a date a girl, I don't want there to be a 90-degree angle between your back and your ass. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. Like the shelf booty. Listen, if that's what you like, cool. But I'm into that. I'm into the real curves, man. That is a very, very, very good point there by Black Lemur 2009. Dre Raven says, to be fair, Soundwave was competent enough to stay alive. Yes, he was. By the way, the same voice actor for Starscream was the voice actor for Cobra Commander. Bet you didn't know that.
I have 2 college graduates that are black women who graduated from college. And they don't look at me or the person I married. I told them this is just the person I like. I didn't marry her because I didn't...
I don't know why this guy feels the need to justify his choice in women. Like he's doing his level best. Listen, I know black people and I don't understand. I guess he's one of these guys who are preconditioned to just explain his choices, I suppose.
Want to be with a black woman? This is the person I happen to like and wanted to be with.
Rebel 5150 says, if I can't sit in a if I can't sit it he deleted it already. I thought that was funny.
For the rest of my life. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't read that to anyone. If I saw a sister with a white guy, I don't look at her and go, oh, that's messed up. She ain't
I don't care about that.
I say, well, that must be the person she chose.
And you want to know why he says that? Because he has other options. Again, the only people, male or female, who have a problem with, and this is with any race, this is white women, black women, Indian, Hispanics, any male or female who has a problem with persons of the same race, of the opposite sex, dating outside their race, that just says to me that they don't have the options. They just don't.
And she's happy with it, I'm happy with it. Period.
KT, you've talked about how your...
Rebel 5150 says, if I can't sit a cup on it, I don't want it. I ain't mad at you, man.
proximity to white women has contributed to you dating white women. But I want to ask you about the physicality of white women versus black women? Are you even attracted to black women?
I'm not.
Rarely.
Yeah.
Rarely.
Yeah.
Rarely.
Yeah. Listen, like when I think of what's her name, the Sumter girl. Her name is oh, I forgot what her name, but she's been in Tyler Perry movies. I forget what the first name is. She is exquisite. Paula Patton, dude, Naomi Campbell in her prime. But I agree with this guy. Like, I am rarely attracted to the average black woman.
Attracted to black women. In some cases I am, but it's rare.
Yep.
Like you mentioned, body types and everything like that. I look for, just a beautiful woman, and I rarely see it, in black women.
Finally, he said it. Finally, he said it indirectly, but he actually said it.
You don't see beauty in black women?
Rarely.
Nope.
There you go.
Rarely.
Look. Watch Cynthia G. Watch her reaction. She talks about people being triggered. Watch this.
In black women.
Watch.
You don't see beauty in black women?
Watch.
Rarely.
Look at her.
Because he sees beauty in
Hold
white.
Cynthia about that.
Well, listen,
Go ahead, Cynthia.
whenever you attach beauty or certain things only to a certain race of people, that just means that that's the race that you want to validate that by. What he's saying is,
What is she
basically
talking
what
about?
I said, black men look at white womanhood as inherently better than black womanhood.
But I didn't say that.
No. He said that. I need you to understand.
This is ridiculous.
I wasn't responding to you. I was responding to KT.
Yeah,
It
but that's
goes.
what
But then you said all men. So you got
Yeah,
to-
literally. That is literally what she just said. Like, dude, look, man, I don't think there's really any need to continue on with this. Cynthia G she's arguing in bad faith. That's what, like, at the end of the day, guys, and again, listen, I don't have a problem with Cynthia G. Like, if she wants, she can do whatever she wants to do. I don't care. I'm not tripping. But she's arguing in bad faith. She's making up statistics. Anytime somebody flips the script on her, it doesn't apply to her. The data points, and well, the data is what it is. Look, at the end of the day, black men, you can't listen to someone who argues in bad faith, guys. You can't listen to someone who argues in bad faith, okay? Cynthia is being, not only is she arguing in bad faith, she is being intellectually dishonest, and she's making up statistics. She's sitting here telling us that we have confirmation bias when that's literally what she's been doing this entire time. And that's why I wanted to break this down, because it is obvious. It is so plainly obvious what she is doing. I take your phone calls right after the break. Right after the break. Don't go anywhere, guys. We are back in 17 seconds. Introducing our brand new buy now, pay later option on TSR Academy. That's right, guys. You can now split up payments on all of my courses. My 25-hour game course, my 7-hour quality woman course, and even my 600-plus female translation course, Womanese. Go to tsracademy.com for details.
Love is like a record, and it's playing the song we remember. When I speak these words, I mean them, but it's harder to string them together.
Welcome back to TSR Live, guys. Thanks for sticking around. It is Wednesday, June 15th of 2022. It is good to have you in today. As always, we are streaming live simultaneously to Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, DLive, Rumble, and of course, in crystal clear, high-resolution 4K to Sharpe Stream, which can be downloaded for free on Android or iOS. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. Give me a second. I appreciate that very, very much. Again, shout out to everyone who is in the chat. The phone lines are officially open. The phone lines are officially open. 516-387-1987, 516-387-1987. If you're calling from outside of the U.S., dial 001-516-387-1987. Please give the screener your name, your location, a brief description of why you're calling. Guys, please be patient. There are other callers ahead of you. And I'm not going to be doing this all night long. I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes to call in. If you call in within the next 3 minutes, I will get you in. If you don't, sorry for you. Augustus Balmustus with the $8 super chat says, Cynthia's premise is based around laughable data. Bald. That was brilliant. That is brilliance personified. Dre Raven is absolutely right. Said Skywarp did not get enough love, loyal to the cause. I'm not mad at that. Zane Z. Campbell with the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. Says, I'm sorry, is it safe to say you don't like a hatchback booty? Yes, it is safe. I do not like a hatchback booty. That's just not it. I like an ass that looks like a heart. I like heart-shaped asses. I like it to look like a heart from behind and a teardrop from the side. Appreciate that. KMM with the £5 British super chat. Appreciate that. Says, the face of a white woman, the body of a black woman, and the character of an Oriental girl. Uh-oh. I think I've got that. And Devin's no unicorn. She's no snowflake. Like, I get that. But Devin is a white girl with the body of a black woman. Dude, guys, listen, man. Go check her out. She absolutely has the body of a black woman. Jason Moreno says, they ask you for opinion, then disregard it. Yeah, of course. King, somebody mentioned Tessa Thompson, and then, yeah, Tessa Thompson doesn't do it for me. She doesn't do it for me. And I agree. King Life says Tessa Thompson looks like her breath stank. That's funny. Let's see. Cody Marshall says, arguing with bad faith is just like shooting blindfolded. Yes, it is. Kyle 2020 on the YouTube side says, I used to be more attracted to black women until I learned the personality type they tend to have. Most women I see on Tinder, in general, are not attractive to me. I can't imagine they are. 516-387-1987, 516-387-1987. Let us go to John in New York. John, wait, hold on. Let's go to John in New York. John in New York, you are on live with Donovan, and you go ahead.
Donovan, what's up, man? First of all, you are 100% right on Soundwave. Any transformer that comes with its own cassette tape,
hell yeah,
wins.
Hey, hold on. Let me give you a Don DeMarco. Real talk. Laserbeak, Ravage, Rumble, and Frenzy. End of discussion. All right, go ahead.
I appreciate that. Pure fact. So I think the most intellectually dishonest part of her argument is this faux concern for black men's happiness.
Yeah.
And we see this all the time. You see it when people talk about guys who don't want to get married. They know the married men are happier. This is the only time that the happiness of the man becomes an issue. But I understand why this frustrates black women.
Of course.
Because the fact of the matter is, both men and women, in their attractiveness, we've all seen the thing of this race is generally more attractive than that race in terms of pure attractiveness.
Right.
They both are based off of masculine and feminine traits.
There you go.
And the truth of the matter is that when the stereotypical negatives about black men that are put out there, most of them are controllable.
There you go.
Right?
There you go, man.
Whether you go to jail or not, your education, all of these things, these are all controllable.
Yes,
for black men.
That's right.
The masculinity traits that many black men are born with are the things that they don't have to control. Right? Whether it be tall or muscular or just generally masculine looking, a lot of black men are born with these traits.
That's right.
Luckily, right?
That's right.
Great at sports, all these things, right? Black women, by contrast, and we see the same dichotomy in Asian, by the way. It's just in the reverse. Black women, by contrast, don't have the most controllable things. But the one thing that they can control, their weight, statistically,
Yep.
they don't control.
That's right.
And so when they look at this, there's the accountability of, do I control my weight and just fight, or do I complain? And we know which option they always choose.
That's
but
right.
The bottom line is, as soon as any man who comes from a community that's relatively small in proportion, which is African American males, that's what it is, small percentage of the country, right? Once that person leaves the community and has options, that's it.
Yep.
You've lost.
That's it.
If you're in the local community, it's, now you have to compete, and that's something they don't like to do. That was basically all I had to say.
John in New York, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for chiming in. Good call there by John in New York. Yeah, he's right. Listen, black women would sooner, they would rather complain than compete. And it doesn't work that way. Let's go to Benjamin in San Diego. Benjamin in San Diego, you are on Live with Donovan, and you go ahead.
Hey, Donovan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. You?
I'm doing good. We spoke a couple of years ago about interracial relationships as well, but I have a little background about Cynthia G. I used to be a fan of hers years ago, and her platform primarily was against like white supremacy and racism and things of that nature.
Okay.
Her platform evolved in the last couple of years, where it's basically been, black men are garbage, black men are, F-boys, abort black babies. She even had a white man who basically was kind of like a white supremacist guy talking bad about black men. So that's basically her whole platform is hating black men. So the thing is, her arguments are laughable, because this is what I've told. 'Cause I've dated interracial, I've dated women from all over the world.
Sure.
I've also dealt with, like, having grown up in the suburbs, I've dealt with black women who, you're a square, you're a clown if you speak a certain way, or that kind of thing. And so the thing, I always look at it like this: white women, Latina women, Asian women, they like black men for the same reasons black women do. If a woman finds a man attractive, and in this country, I'm sorry, if you see a black man, you see him as, a lot of times, as the pinnacle of masculinity because of athletics and things of that nature.
Of course, yeah.
If a woman finds a man attractive, then she finds him attractive. And the thing is with me is, like, I can go to any, black men have what I call universal pull. We can go into pretty much any community if you, carry yourself a certain way.
That's
and
right.
You can pull whatever woman you want to.
That's right.
And black women, like you said before, black women, and no disrespect to them, but a lot of times, and I think one of the guys commented as well, no one's going to the hood to deal with certain women. They're beautiful black women in the hood.
Of course.
I've dealt with some of the worst attitudes. I've been physically attacked by black women. I've dealt with nonsense from them. So the thing is, and the thing is, if black women are 7% of the population, you have white women are a certain percentage, Latinos are a certain percentage, you have Asians at a certain percentage. So if a black man can pull from all of those groups of people, black women are going to be at the bottom anyway.
That's exactly right.
So Cynthia G, her argument, she hates black men. She hates that black men, because one minute she's sitting there saying, "Oh, black men should date black women," then on the other hand, she'll have videos about how black women should divest and black men are trash. And I mean, some of the things she says, the vitriol is outrageous.
Yeah.
That's why I was listening to this whole. I couldn't even believe that she would say this, but yeah, she hates black men. But I sit there and tell people, if a woman's a banger, she's a banger. I don't care where she's from.
Right.
If you're cool, you're cool. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, it's in, hey, I'm dating white women, I'm dating Asians, I got Latinos, I got everything on my team, but you can't get mad at someone else's happiness. And if you're wasting your time worried about what somebody's doing in their relationship, maybe you should, worry about your own life. And the thing with Cynthia
90
G,
seconds.
We haven't talked about, Cynthia G had a child with a black man. The black man basically rejected her, whatever, and that's when she turned into this monster against black men. So that's what a lot of this comes from. I remember when that story broke. It was a couple of years ago that her, I think her best friend, like, outed her that she had been sleeping with this dude named Robert something, and then she got pregnant. I guess she had the baby, but I guess this Robert guy doesn't want anything to do with her. And you're telling me that was the genesis of this new direction? Wow, I had no idea. Yeah, man, yeah. Because the thing is, I've followed her for years. I mean, she was, pro-black. I mean, dude, she has videos where she literally will show black men in relationships with white women and say, "Oh, they chose them over us," and she'll pick like you know, a guy that's not dating the most attractive white women, and she'll do this. And the thing is, the vitriol that I see from black women towards black men that date interracially is the worst, by far worse than black men against black women.
Oh, yes.
And I understand where they're coming from. I understand you're not the standard of beauty. You know, this is a white country, whatever. But at the same time, you still have to have personal responsibility where you have to go to the gym. You have to get your hair done right. You have to, you know, do certain things to attract men. That's why I love Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. He was
absolutely.
Godfather. And the thing is like,
10 seconds.
What it is as well is like a lot of these women can't take criticism.
Nope.
They don't want to deal with any, you know, any things that, okay, maybe it's us, maybe we should change this, that, and the third. No, they sit there and embrace obesity.
Yep.
Because obesity is like 80% amongst black women.
Real talk.
They embrace that. They embrace the bad attitudes. And they tell us that, oh, well, you're supposed to accept us however the way you are. No, I'm going to accept whatever the hell I want to.
That's
I'm
right.
a grown-ass man. If I find a woman attractive from whatever, you know, ethnicity, I'm gonna go with the best deal possible. And I love myself. I love black people. I love being a black person, but that doesn't mean I have to date somebody just because they're black. Just your race doesn't determine how your relationship is going to be.
Exactly.
Your attitude is like you said, fit, feminine, and friendly. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get off of here, man. Let some other people talk. But I just wanted to put that out there about Cynthia G. That like, man, she has a lot of deep-seated hatred towards black men, and anything you say, she's going to try to deflect and make up false stats and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man.
Benjamin in San Diego, I appreciate you chiming in, man. Good call.
Yeah, man. Okay, man. Thanks. Yeah.
All right, take care. Yeah, dude, Benjamin in San Diego. I mean, and look, okay, so Cynthia G appears to hate black men. Okay. All right. Like, I'm not tripping off of that. If she hates black men, so be it. I don't care. It doesn't affect, I mean, black women who hate black men, that doesn't affect me. So why am I tripping? Let's go to Stephen in Mobile, Alabama. Stephen in Mobile, you are on Live with Donovan, and you go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
I sure can.
What's going on, man?
Not too much. How about yourself, my friend?
It's going pretty well, I can't lie. So I heard the whole Fox Soul interview, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, last night totally confirmed everything that I just heard today.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
So long story short, there's a couple black girls that were in a bar. Me and my boy walk in. He's Hispanic. I'm black, but I'm Caribbean, so you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
Once you see me, you know. And one of them approaches me and is like, hey, how's it going, this and that. You know, I like how you look. I like your shirt. Something different about you. And we start talking. Her friend, on the other hand, is completely, like, belligerently drunk.
Oh, boy.
So she's trying her damnedest to just get her away from me, to try to call her every 2 seconds. You know, the usual
cock blocking. Of course, yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's nothing that I'm not familiar with. So I kind of just play the game and keep playing pool. But over time, the friend gets more and more physical. So she's, at this point, kind of like pushing me or nudging me away from her friend. Yeah, she's trying to like put her hands in my face. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, like just doing the most, right? And I'm like, yo, this girl's drunk, but I'm in the military, so if someone like reaches towards me or walks behind me or whatever, you know,
like
usual, like
you're gonna do what you got to do.
Stuff, I get pretty defensive.
Yeah, of course.
You know. So, long story short, she's like trying to put her hand in my face, and I grab her collarbone and like yank her back, and I'm like, yo, I'm not the one.
Like, step off, right?
And yeah, and it's funny because I've been in this situation plenty of times because I live downtown.
Right.
But I've never been in that situation with a white girl. White girls, when
There
they
you
get
go.
drunk, usually, right? Maybe I haven't met the right one or the wrong one. But usually you just don't see that. You don't see them being physical. You don't see them trying to fight. And, you know, of course,
Right.
there's quote-unquote Karens out there.
Of
whatnot,
course, of
but
course. Yeah, listen, man. Listen, Steven, you're right.
It just goes to
There-
show, man. Like,
Listen, you're right. There are white girls out there who like to get physical and handsy when they're drunk. But as a collective, by and large, black women are, at a much higher percentage, get physical whether they're drunk or not. I'll give you the last word.
yeah, I kind of wanted to end it with this. I can't speak for any other race, right? Just because I was born in an African-American / Caribbean household.
Okay.
But I like to say women, more specifically black women, they want their men to be as logical, as tough, as alpha as possible.
Right.
Just don't do it to the extent where it doesn't benefit them.
Woo, wow.
That's when they have an issue.
Very
you know?
good.
So that's the main difference I've seen, man. A white chick, they'll be like, oh, well, you don't believe in marriage? You know, I don't rock with that. But like, you know, you're a nice guy or whatever. I'll still text you. A black girl, she'll instantly shut you down.
Yep.
She'll instantly pretty much not be in good faith. So just stay logical, stop being emotional in front of women, and keep winning, man.
Steven in Mobile. Great call, man. Thanks for calling, man.
Thanks.
Very good call. Let us go. This is our last caller of the evening. Let's go to Jay Blaze in Maine. Jay Blaze in Maine. You're on live with Donovan. Go ahead.
Hey, Don. We are seeing this play out in Ultimatum, where you have two beautiful black women.
Wow.
One is a ratchet, and then the other one is agreeable and quiet. And there are more Shaniques in this world than there are Rays.
That is exactly right. That's exactly right. And it's interesting. Jay Blaze. We didn't see the real Shanique until there was a confrontation with black women like Shanique. The more masculinity you show, in other words, the less bullshit you put up with, the more masculine they become. And that's what ended up happening. You're 100% right. There are more Shaniques in this world than there are Rays. And it has nothing to do with their race. It has everything to do with their personality, man. Unbelievable. That's a very good point that you made.
Ray had a strong, present father. Yes. And so that's why she's agreeable.
There you go.
Her emotions are tied to her father.
That's right. And that's why that's why she's on the fence about Zay, because she knows her father does not like Zay because Zay is a hood nigga.
And as a father, you should always have your daughter's emotions tied to you. You need to have a strong presence and show her the kind of man she needs to submit to and follow. And a lot of there's no black men present in homes as much. So they're not getting that role model.
Wow. Very good. Thanks for the call, Jay Blaze. I appreciate it, my friend.
Hey, thank you.
Jay Blaze, always coming with the knowledge. One last thing I want to show you guys is so I put a poll up. On my YouTube community tab. I'm going to refresh it here to make sure that we have the latest and most accurate data. Pun intended. I asked, do you think black men are miserable in their relationships with non-black women? And I said, let's be honest, we talking about white girls. 83% said no. 83% said no. Only 11% said yes. Now, this is anonymous. This is mostly anonymous. People are going to tell the truth when they're anonymous. Let's take a look at some of these comments to close out the show. Looks like Pop and Smoke says, my wife is Latina, Native American mix, very fit, feminine, friendly, 5 foot, 120 pounds, and very accommodating, and she does it willingly. I had full-on plans to leave the country years ago to move to Brazil. I have family there. She changed my mind 7 years later. I still don't regret it. Here we go, Longshanks. As far as what I personally see, myself and every black friend I have that is with a non-black woman is happy and been with them for 15 plus years, while all the ones that have been with, are with, and continue to date black women have been divorced from one at least once. There we go, man. There we go. King Freak, this is a solid comment. Depends on the man, the woman, and the relationship. That's fair. NGB Jordan Bowen says, definitely depends on the girl. I think both sides present different issues. That makes sense. For example, on average, one side may have more attitude, while the other may have an annoying princess mentality. That I will give a Don DeMarco. Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. Yes, white girls are entitled as a you-know-what. That guy says, my Latina hooks up with me every Friday. She smells good, brings cerveza and comida. Si, amigo. She approached me. I didn't go out of my way to date her because I couldn't date a black woman. She is fun and definitely genuine. She often leaves me money for bills, gas, or whatever. She is awesome, and we are not in a committed relationship yet. She's a keeper. There we go. Brandon Martin says, only when they're not fit, feminine, and friendly. I went through a dark time and got with a woman because she was friendly and seemed nice. Never again. Call me shallow, but I can't be aroused by a woman that progressively outgrows me. Danny Bauer says, think black men in my area in the average is more success than white men. Me being white, I don't know what that means. Depends on the white girl and who she is. That makes sense. Zeus says, most black men I've been around with white women seem to be happier and more at peace. With white women, you tend to get basic respect as a man off the bat. At times, they can be like other women, but many black women in comparison see it as a badge of honor to disrespect black men. Outside of the glares from black women, you honestly can just enjoy life instead of walking around stressed with the burden of race this and race that, which comes with dealing with most black women. Dude. Ricky Ray Strickland says they don't look miserable in all of the commercials. That's all you see now. Well, I guess you're right. Zealman says, I think they are not miserable, but they may be uncomfortable in certain social situations. I'd say white women are less prone to being influenced by hip-hop culture, but to be honest, they are still exposed to the whole feminism stuff. So I'd say pick your poison. There's pros and cons of every relationship. Just pick out whatever works best for you. That makes sense. Shinsky says, not from what I've seen. However, I think there's going to be a period in which black men realize that white women can be just as miserable, maybe even more so. That's fair. Ewald Whip says, if she provides him with what he wants and needs, why the hell would he be miserable? That is exactly right. That is exactly right. Very, very, very good episode. Very, very good episode this evening. Thank you guys all very much for watching. Guys, don't forget, the Power Couple Blueprint. The new Power Couple Blueprint relationship course drops on July the 28th. Get on the waiting list now to be notified the moment it drops. All kinds of bonuses are going to be involved in that. Go to DonovanSharpe.com/blueprint. Also, join me tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, where I will be continuing my dating show breakdown of The Ultimatum. It's a play-by-play breakdown. I'm doing that exclusively on SharpeStream. You can download the app on the Google Play Store or the App Store. That is going to do it for this, the 863rd edition of TSR Live. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care.